All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to some more Brood Warcasts. We got CPL Season 10, Week 2. It's going to be Group 44. Got a lot of strong contenders this week. I'm excited to get into their games, see what we've got going for our players. Let's go ahead and get the in-game music going for you guys here. And let's go ahead and hop right into our first game. I am excited to get casting. I'm excited to see these players play. This was recommended by 2 different people in the casting requests, so I'm expecting some really good games, and I'm super excited to hop right into them. All right, spawning here in the top left, it is our blue Protoss player. It is ash.Baal, and in the bottom right, it is our tan. Is that what that color is called? Yellowish? I don't know. Some sort of yellow Protoss. It is Boomer UA. Starting off with a PvP. We'll have to see what our players want to start out with. 2-gate or single gate into core. Both are pretty valid options, so give it a second here and see what our players decide to go for. Some more CPL action. Baal is, of course, a really strong player. I actually don't know much about Boomer UA, so we'll have to see how his playstyle shows, especially in this matchup. PvP being a mirrors, kind of a volatile matchup. PvP is maybe not as volatile as TPT or ZVZ can be, but definitely can be some volatility to it. So excited to see how he plays. I don't think I've ever seen him play before. But Baal, of course, like I said, strong player. Somehow we have managed to avoid each other in every NSL and CPL, and I don't think we've ever actually played. Or if we have played, it's been a while, but so we do have a pylon scout coming out of Boomer, so that's the first kind of small difference here. You're going to lose some mineral income by sending that out, whereas Baal's keeping his probe at home, of course, gets a little bit more income. When you've only got 9 probes, that's like 12 to 13% of your income just gone by scouting early. But he is going to get super early intel. He's going to know if it's going to be a 2-gate or if it's going to be a gate into gas. So yeah, okay, Boomer, says KilahAce in the chat. Alright, so we do have a 2-gate coming out of Baal. It looks like we are going to get tech out of Boomer here. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if that's a form name with a foreign pronunciation or anything like that, but no, a little bit of a probe kiss as Baal's probe goes past. I should see the cyber core go down here at some point. We'll see if he skips the pylon for it or if he does not. It's looking like he's going to skip the pylon for it. Well, maybe not. Okay, there's the pylon. So he's not skipping the pylon to get the core down, which is good because it's a 2-gate, so he doesn't need to get the extra zealots out. He can't be supply blocked. First zealot out is out for Baal. First zealot is started up for Boomer. Should finish here shortly. Both players getting scouting information, but Boomer getting chased out of Baal's base by this single zealot. And there is our cybernetics core. Now we do got to be careful. We have the probe outside the natural here, just making sure that none of the zealots come out. Once he sees those zealots come out, he's got to come over here and secure this ramp. He can't let the zealots get into the base for free. He's got to buy time for his first Dragoon to come out. Once he's got the Dragoons out, as long as he holds this ramp, he'll hold just fine. But if the zealots get in, there's always the potential of taking some probe damage. And we already skipped some probes, so we're already a little bit down on probes. And we are going to see that first zealot move out now. There should be 3 zealots on the way. Now we just got to hold this ramp. Looks like we aren't making a 3rd zealot. We're waiting for the cyber core, and we are getting a shield battery at the ramp just to be extra safe. And this should keep us alive once the Dragoon pops. The shield battery, which might not be in range of this zealot, but I think it's just barely in range of this zealot, we'll keep these alive on this ramp. There's not going to be enough surface area for the 3 to fight the 2. It's going to be basically a 2v2. So should buy us plenty of time to get that Dragoon out and hopefully be just fine. Meanwhile, back at home, we are getting our cybernetics core for Baal. He went into a gas pretty quickly after the 3 zealots and cut production to get that out as quick as possible. So he is not planning on trying to trickle non-stop aggression in. It's a good push forward to make sure that 3 zealots can't attack on this. And we do have the pull forward to get onto the shield battery. Dragoon is going to pop out. Let's keep a look on the HP here of Baal's zealots. They are going to get into the mineral line, which is really good. We got to try not to lose any probes here if we can. We're going to lose 1. That's a good drill. We got all 3 of the zealots kind of popping around doing nothing there, but we do lose a 2nd probe, which is pretty big. Somehow only managed to lose 2 probes, which is actually not too bad. We're still quite a bit down on supply, But our tech is up a little bit quicker. The problem is we were at 2-gate versus 1-gate production, and Baal didn't keep making Zealots, so he actually will get the Dragoon lead before too much longer. And we're going to have the range lead as well, because the range did not start for Boomer here. And we're skipping some more probes here as well, so we're just marching across the map. We've got another Dragoon on the way, I'm assuming, on the 2nd gate. Oh, that's a Robo, so we're going to go 1-gate Robo versus a 2-gate. Let's see if Baal decides to go for tech here, if he goes for a 3-gate Dragoon follow-up. There is a small window here where he can get in and do some damage, but I think that window's going to close before these units even get there. Zealots do technically do more damage, so 4 Dragoons versus 2 Zealots, unless the Dragoons micro really well. The 2 Zealots and 2 Dragoons technically actually win, but almost never going to actually happen, besides the fact that you're firing uphill, you're able to micro with these Dragoons, and yeah, Boomer immediately pulls back, which is probably the right decision. Alright, Dragoon range on the way for both of our players. And we are going to go into 3-gate Dragoon here from Baal. So this 1-gate Reaver is actually pretty much hard countered by the 3-gate Dragoon. So Boomer's going to have to be really careful. He's going to have to play really passive. He's probably not going to be able to secure his natural. And Baal's probably not going to go for his natural immediately, at least. He will push across the map, try and get map control, and then he'll decide whether or not he wants to go for his natural then, because you can't produce off of 3 gates and take a Nexus at the same time. Some scouting information coming out. We're going to see the Dragoon move out. We're going to see it's quite a few Dragoons as well. We scout at least 5. There's more back there, but they mispathed. Might lose at least 1 Zealot here, but we might just barely get home. I can't believe this probe is still alive, too, in Boomer's base. Baal just camping out on his opponent's base, not caring at all. Alright, we do have a shuttle on the way. Robotic support base on the way as well, but it's going to be super late. This is actually extremely dangerous now. We've got 3 Dragoons and 2 Zealots. If Baal pushes up, he might lose all of his Dragoons, but he also might be able to break through this, but I don't think Baal's going to commit. I'm actually surprised he's not holding the bottom of the ramp at the very least. Got some more units along the way here. We don't see an expand. We don't know what our tech is, but we are sending a probe down, so it looks like he does want to take that expansion pretty quickly here. Units dancing around trying to figure out how to path where they want to go. 2nd gate is coming down for Boomer as well, and our Nexus is going down for Baal. So Baal's going to have quite the economic lead. He's already up in probes. He's going to have his natural down a metric crap ton earlier than his opponent. It looks like we've got some scouting Dragoons just out looking for drop ships heading out or anything like that. Do have a scouting pylon here, none for Baal, but Baal's pretty much got full control of the map right now, so he's not too worried about anyone breaking into the back here. And our robotics facility does now finish up. What is the tech of choice from Baal now that we've got the expansion? Is he going to also follow up with Reavers, or is he going to go into Storm? Getting the Observer tech. We can also just mass more gateways as well and stay on Gateway Man. It is definitely a valid option. Our first Reaver is finishing up here for Boomer, and our Nexus is about to finish up here for Baal. So Baal really has a strong economic lead here, and it's going to be up to Boomer to find a way to even the game out at this point. He's got to get some sort of damage on without just throwing his army away, which is definitely a risk, and Baal is already prepared. He knows that there's Reaver tech probably coming out since it is a 1 base, and he saw the unit count. All that money's got to go somewhere. If there's not a Nexus here and there's not a lot of units, obviously he's teching. And it could theoretically be DTs, but we've got the Observatory on the way. We are making more gateways, so we're pretty much safe from everything except the potential Reaver, which we had units camped out in here for. We're actually pulling them back, so we're going to leave 2 Dragoons here, and we're going to move all the rest of our units out to the front. It's looking like he maybe wants to push across the map. Expansion is coming down here for Boomer, but taking this expansion this late when you're already down on probes, this Reaver is going to help you defend it, but you're still going to be just so far behind that Baal's just going to outscale you going into the mid-game and late game. In fact, looks like Baal is planning on setting up to get his 3rd. Might have his 3rd on the way before the natural of Boomer even finishes. Alright, Observer is going to fly over this army and see it. Where's the Observer for Baal? There's the Observer for Baal. So we might be able to pick this Observer off if we're extremely attentive. But it looks like we're going to just pass by each other. Baal may want to turn around and go for it. Changes his mind. We are going to go around the long way instead of trying to go across the bridges. He doesn't have any information over here, so he doesn't know if the army is just sitting on the other side of the bridge waiting for it, which would actually be pretty good with a Reaver, but we are actually just holding our natural. There's no offensive pylon in the front to help kind of soak up damage either, so I think Boomer has just enough to hold this, but with good micro, Baal might be able to pick off the Reaver. If the Reaver falls, that's a big detriment and might be what Baal needs to bust this natural. Observer flying over the base here, seeing that we are going up to 5 gates. We don't have Reaver tech at all, so we're entirely on Gateway Man here. Ooh, probe's going to get sniped almost instantly. Our first Dragoon, or first Reaver hits pretty decent. Second one actually whiffs. Picked up the Reaver. It's pretty weak, but still alive. We got to get some really good hits here. That's a decent hit. Dragoon's pushing forward, trying to pick off that Reaver. Another good hit from the Reaver, but I don't know if there's quite enough Dragoons here. It looks like Boomer is going to just barely hold. We're going to lose the Reaver, though. But I think we have enough Dragoons here to clean up the Dragoons of Baal. There is more units reinforcing across the map, but we have another Reaver out as well. We still have the shuttle alive with shuttle speed. I'm actually surprised at how evenly those Dragoons traded out in the end. 2 for 1 left over. Alright, back at home for Baal. We do have the 5 gateways. Are we teching at all? Going up to a 6th gateway with still no tech. We do have that scouting pylon behind our base here for Baal as well now. And it is 40 probes to 24 probes, so Boomer holds for now, but the economic lead for Baal is just getting further and further ahead. The longer that this probe count stays ahead of his opponent, the more it takes. You know, you make a probe and it takes a while for the probe to even pay for itself. So going up to 3 gates here for Boomer. We are staying on Reaver tech at the moment for Boomer as well. It looks like Baal is coming in for yet another attack. We only have 3 Dragoons here. And this Reaver's going to fall instantly. The shuttle is nowhere near it. Oh, the shuttle might just barely... Oh, the shuttle did not pick it up. That might be game. If we pull back to our shield battery, maybe we buy ourselves some time. It is 4 Dragoons versus 4 Dragoons, but the targeting fire here is just better for Baal. This Dragoon was rallied down, didn't even start firing immediately. We are going to pull some probes to help with the fight, but more Dragoons are rallying down from Baal, and I don't think we have the army to hold this anymore. The economic advantage was just too far for Baal, and Baal is going to take the game. Kind of an explosive first game. Baal got a really early economic advantage and just gateway manned himself to victory. Yeah, Goons for the win indeed. 3-gate Dragoon is one of my favorite PvP builds when I play PvP. Alright, bear with me guys. Let's go ahead and get the next one set up here. It's going to be... which is a Terran player... Alright, make sure we got that selected. Alright, and let's go ahead and hop into our next game. Got about 2 hours of replays to go through, so I'm going to try to blow through them in a relatively okay pace so I can get dinner at a decent time, but we'll take a couple of intermissions as well so you guys can get drinks and snacks and all that kind of stuff. Oops, wrong one. Alright, in the top left here, we have our blue Protoss currently down for wins, 0 for his season, or for his week this season. Let's see if he can do it. It is Boomer UA. And in the bottom right, it is our Black Terran. It is iRk-Launch. Actually not super familiar with Launch either, so going a little bit blind as to where both of these players are at skill-wise. But PvT is definitely a difficult matchup for Terran, in my opinion. It is definitely my weakest Terran matchup, so we'll see if iRk-Launch has a decent TVP. Maybe I can learn a few things and improve my Terran a little bit. No cheeky probes being sent out early. Oop, I thought that one was for going a second. Not sure why the rally... Oh, he's using his rally point to spam his APM. Okay, now he's got a stationary. See if our Terran's doing the same thing. Wait, where is the Terrans? Does the Terrans not show you where the rally point is? That's weird. I wonder if it's because Boomer submitted the replay. I'm not sure how that works. Interesting. Alright, Supply Depot is going down. We're not placing it next to the command center to push the SCVs out a little bit further, but that's okay. It's something that's not required. It's just a small optimization that you can do if you want to. Alright, Boomer is going to go for the gateway, so we're not going for a 12 Nexus or anything crazy. And we should see the barracks go down here for Boomer as well. Looks like he's going to place the Supply Depot here if he needs to. Probably will not place it there if he scouts it. He does not need to. Since you can build this Comstat station on this side, you actually can do it this way. Usually you place the barracks against the command center so you can lift it later to make the Comstat if it was up here. Alright, gateway is going down. We are getting our gas for our Protoss, so it's looking like it's going to be just a typical 1-gate Dragoons expand. Gas is going down for our Terran as well. Boomer actually opting not to go for the gas steal this game. It's definitely something I feel like all Protosses should do on a 2-player map, but not all players play the same playstyle, so Boomer missing a couple of probes here as well. We are down at 13 to almost 14, so we got just a slight worker advantage for our Terran player, but hopefully we'll get our expansion down at a relatively decent time and actually make up the difference there pretty quickly. Cybernetics core is going down for Boomer. We are getting a full scout, getting a little bit of harassment, but only really gets one shot. Mostly it's just scouting information. We do want to stay here to see if the boys pull off of gas or not. Okay, we are coming back in. We're going to get a little bit more zappy action on this SCV. Actually doing quite a bit to it, but the Marine's going to pop here before too long. We do see the SCVs are pulled. We've got the information we need. We're now allowed to get out safely. We even see the factory go down. The factory's going to have to float. I'm pretty sure that's only a 1. Let's see here. Okay, no, I think you can maybe fit it. I mean, you still have to float the barracks at the very least. All right, back at home at the Protoss, we are getting scouting information. First Dragoon has started up. We have not started Dragoon range. We do not quite have the money for it. We are going to start the second we get it. And then we will probably save up for an expansion at this point. Second Marine is being made. Are we going to go up to 3? We are going up to 3. Probe here at the low ground, just scouting to see if we do have a command center going down, but we don't see it quite yet. We do still see as the viewers, of course, that the boys are pulled off, so we are going to get an expansion out of Terran. It's just a matter of when. Marines are going to come down, push this probe back, and probably see the bunker go down as well. We'll see if he goes for the... It says it's retro. I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know, Dada. I had set that up, but I must have messed it up when I reset it up. There we go. Map is correct now. And we are going to get the bunker before the command center, but the command center won't be too far behind that. Command center is actually probably going to go up before our Nexus, actually. So Terran going to have just a slight advantage on the timing of that, but we did actually get ahead in the probe count, even though we were slightly behind earlier. And oh my gosh, this SCV is just going to mineral walk right into the base of our Protoss player. He's going to see everything that's going on. Yeah, this SCV getting full scouting information. He knows exactly what he's worried about or not worried about. He's going to even see that the Nexus is coming down, though. From the scout in the main base, he could probably pretty much guarantee that he knew that that was coming. All right, first first Vulture is out. What are the units called? What is this unit? I don't even know. All right, command center on the way. Actually, does the command center and a Nexus build at the same speed? 750... Probably. They're probably the same build time. I actually don't know. The Pulcher. Alright, we do have the machine shop finishing up. We're going to see if it's going to be mines first. It is going to be mines first. Probably a mine here and then a couple over here. Try and catch some Dragoons that are out on the map. Dragoons are going to come forward, start poking at this bunker. Three Marines do beat a Dragoon, but not 2 Dragoons, so you gotta be a little bit careful there. But he does buy some time for the SCVs to get down here, which is probably what he was aiming for, because that bunker would have fallen without it. So good move, or good pull there from Launch. He bought himself time to get the SCVs for the repair. Vulture mines are going to finish up here before too much longer, and then we'll start seeing some mines go down. That's how the Koreans pronounce it. I don't think I've ever actually heard the Koreans pronounce Vulture, but I could see it. Some Asian languages have some really weird usages of consonants. Alright, Command Center is finishing up here for our Terran player, and Nexus is finishing up as well for Boomer. Alright, well, we are going to go for a really quick army, so we're going to go really heavy upgrade style here from our Terran player. Getting that +1 attack super early. We'll probably see some more barracks, or more factories added on here before too much longer, but his initial gas and money is going to go into getting those upgrades as quick as possible. And then we have the 2 mines there and the 1 mine there like I thought. And the Vulture's going to suicide into the main just to get some scouting information. But this Dragoon's actually going to block it, so not going to get into the main and scout anything at all this time. Might get a probe here, though, if we're not actually going to get one. That's unfortunate. So, but that's okay. That Vulture did do its job. They got the mines down and got a little bit of scouting information. Not getting into the main's kind of a pain, but it's not the end of the world. We are, in the meantime, going to go for a 2-gate robo out of Boomer. We'll have to see if he wants to follow this up with Reavers or not, but we are getting the Observers at the moment. And these true Dragoons are kind of trapped here for now. He doesn't know where the mines are on the map. He knows that Dragoon was out. And we see some anti-DT mines going down, just because Launch doesn't know exactly what the tech path is for our Terran player yet. Boomer went over here to make a command center, Nexus, excuse me, but looks like he wasn't able to place that because the mine was there. And here comes our second factory coming down. I think you need to get your starport for too much longer so you can start going into that 2-1 with this kind of a style, but we'll see. I'm actually not super familiar with the super fast upgrade style of Terran. So I'm going to actually keep an eye on that to kind of see how the timings work out on that. All right, back home, our Protoss are still staying on 2 bases, or 2 gateways, I mean. We are pushing out, starting to clear out these mines. We'll see if he wants to take a quick third here. It's got a probe looking like it's ready to move over there and possibly go for it. We do have vultures out on the map that could maybe come over here for the snipe, but... Alright, still just going up to a second factory here. Still on 2 gateways. We are going to go for the quick third here for Boomer. And these vultures are not going to get over there to deny it, unfortunately. Yeah, we do have 1 mine here. One of these vultures should still have a mine left, I think. Yeah, this one does, so we'll have to see if he places that anywhere of importance. Alright, second factory is done. We are getting a Goliath, just as anti-Reaver, most likely, since he still doesn't know the tech. Do we have an academy done? We do, and we have comm stats. Have we scanned yet? We have done 1 scan. I missed it, but I think he knows what the tech is probably now at this point. Alright. Do we have a forge for our Protoss player yet? We're going into Citadel from here. No forge for our Protoss. Usually you want to take the forge as you're taking your third, and then start going to upgrades from there. We're getting an E-base. This is a really late E-bay. So I'm not actually sure. I think you probably actually need this for something in the build. But this feels like a little bit too late to be super impactful. At this point, Reavers would have already come. DTs would have already come. So it's an interesting... interesting eat mode there. Alright. We are starting to get that siege tank count built up. We do have the +1 about to finish up here before too much longer, and then we'll probably go into the... Yep, there it goes. We'll probably go into the +1 armor from there. And then you start getting ready to throw down your starport and your second army too far after that. And we are going up to the 5 factories. So we're going to go 5 factories before we tech up to our upgrades. Third expansion is done here for our Protoss. Forge is finally going down for our Protoss as well. Timing's maybe a little late on that, but it's actually probably okay. It's not going to be too detrimental. It's probably about the time that I would take it, honestly. I'm really bad about remembering my forge. Alright. Our Dragoon count's getting pretty decent. Our Terran's kind of stuck in his base for a while. There's not too much that he can do since he went for that fast upgrade style. His factories are super late. We're actually going to go up to 6 factories here as well, so we might be seeing a timing push coming out with 1-1 maybe. We haven't started our +1 armor quite yet, though, which has me a little bit worried about what the plan is for our Terran player here. Meanwhile, back at home, we do get a scan on the natural. Did we get a scan on the main as well? No. Just on the natural. So we don't see the gateway count, but we are up at 5 gateways. Sorry, just with a little bit of lag in game. I'm just checking to make sure I'm not dropping frames, but it looks like everything should be okay. Let me know if it does start dropping on that side. I'll have to close some stuff on the background, but most of everything that should be causing issues should be lagged. It's just been a weird game lag spike. Alright, have we started our +1? Yes, we have. And we got +2 on the way, probably? Oh, no, we went for the 6 factory, that's right. So, going for heavy factory count. Are we going to go up to 7 factories? Is this kind of an all-in, or... We are banking our units kind of in our main here, a little bit hidden. So it's looking like Launch probably wants to go for a timing attack here with that +1 attack. It's a little bit of an awkward attack timing, unless we're going to wait for the +1 armor. But I think this is usually about the time you want to go once you've got this kind of like 8 to 10 tank count. And then you start rallying across the map with your tanks. And yeah, we're unsieging, so it's looking like we're going to go. So we're going to be across the map before our +1 armor is even close to being finished. So it's kind of a bit of an anti-timing here. Observer is going to scout this. Dragoons see it coming out as well. What's our army count looking like at home? We do have shuttles. Do we have shuttle speed? We do not have shuttle speed. We still didn't get the robotics for that, but we are going into Templar tech. So if we can buy some time here to get Templar tech out, Templar tech on these bridges here could be really massive. But we do have to buy the time for it. Alright, we're going to siege in the center of the map, but the Terran made it quite a ways across the map before having to siege up. So a lot of delay time is kind of lost here that you would want to put towards delaying this push out. Our Terran opponent's basically at the bridges before he has to siege for the first time, which is a little bit unfortunate. And at this point, we're just rallying across the map. Go a little bit bigger picture here. Ooh, getting some massive siege tank hits on these units over here. Scan goes down just to see exactly where the army is for our opponent here. And honestly, the Terran army is kind of bigger than the Protoss army right now. Terran is up in supply, which is definitely not where you want to be as a Protoss player. We do have the Templar Archives finished, but we don't have Storm Quail on the way yet. This is looking really bad for our Protoss player. We're going to have some really, really good engages here to actually be able to do anything. But the mines are starting to come down. We have missile turrets going down. We have Goliaths with this army. Boomer's just going to call GG. He's not even going to try and break it. airk-Launch is going to take it, and that's going to be our game. Yeah, Terran went out for a pretty strong timing push there. It was a little bit of a weird timing with the +1 armor being so late, but ends up working out for him pretty well. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. I'm going to take a look at my processes in the background real quick just to make sure that nothing weird and funky is going on, just to make sure that lag was like a one-off. So we'll take a quick 2 to 3 minute break here, guys. Go ahead and get some water, get some snacks if you need to, and I will see you guys in just a moment. All right. Thank you guys so much for patiently waiting. Went ahead and closed some background stuff just to make sure that there's no lag or anything like that that pops up. I'm not sure what was causing that, but better safe than sorry. Let's go ahead and get our scoreboard ready for our next game, and we'll hop into that one. Looks like it is going to be... Well, this has been really convenient so far. I've only had to change the name of one player every single time. Make sure I get the capitalization right. Some people are really particular about that. Also, Illithid Synapse, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it, my friend. Alright, let's go ahead and hop into our next game. Make sure the map is actually correct this time as well. Alright, and in the top left we have our... Is that gray? Or is that like blackish gray? We have our blackish, grayish, some sort of white iRk-Launch. It is our Terran player. And in the bottom right we have our greenish Zerg. It is KilahAce. Fellow clanmate, and a fellow Zerg player, so I gotta root for KilahAce here a little bit. Looks like maybe they had some trouble scheduling last night, but managed to play it out after all, and looks like Launch is too many leagues all at once. Yeah, I know that feeling sometimes. Alright, let's see what KilahAce goes for here. Actually, I'm not super familiar with KilahAce's style for ZVT. I personally prefer a more aggressive style with mutas, but not all players do. So we'll see what KilahAce brings out here. And of course, I don't know much about Launch, so we'll have to see what kind of play he wants to bring to this matchup as well. It looks like we might be going for a wall in here, but this is a little bit late. Are we going for the ramp? Yeah, we're going to go for the ramp wall in. So you put a supply depot there. I think the supply depot there and barracks there. I think that's how that works, and the Marines will pop out here. I'm actually not super familiar with Terran Wallens, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Supply depot barracks. Overlord is going to scout towards that natural pretty much immediately. We are getting the Overlord on the way, so we're not going to see an overpull. Yeah, no drones being pulled for an overpull, so we are going to see the... Oh, no, we are going for an overpull. Excuse me, I am incorrect. So, overpull from our Zerg player here. Not a big fan of overpulls in this matchup, but always interested to see other players do it and see how they do it, because it's definitely something I should probably have in my repertoire. I definitely am hugely favoring 12 hatch in this matchup, even against the 8 Rex, and holding it with drones isn't too bad, so... And then, yeah, that barracks does go on the bottom, and then the Marine should pop out, like, right here. A lot of names that changed race this season again. Yeah, and did Launch play another race last season or something? Does anyone actually... Is this his normal ID? Oops, didn't mean to close that. I don't know if this is another player or if it's just an ID I haven't seen before, so... Alright, we are going to take our expansion. So with an overpull, you're going to take it on with your 13th drone. It looks like we're not going to scout with a drone. No, there is a drone already going across the map to scout. A little bit of a dance there in the center. SCV and drone. Dancing to the Terran music that we got going on, or the Zerg music we've got going on in the background here. And this Overlord actually went on a pretty safe path, so the first Marine, if it came out, wouldn't be able to snipe it, but we don't see that attempt coming out of our Zerg player, or Terran player, excuse me. Alright, when are we going to take our gas here? We do have 4 Zerglings on the way, droning behind that. The problem with this wall-in is we don't know if the Terran is taking gas, and we do see behind that he is taking gas, but usually if they're going to wall-in at the ramp like this, while it is safe on this map, and a lot of Terrans will do it just to do it, usually that means they're going to go into at least factory. I would like to see this drone keep poking up just to see if this barracks is blinking. That's how you can kind of tell if a factory's coming or not, is watching that barracks and see if it's blinking. We're going to start chasing this SCV around. We still haven't got our gas, so it looks like we're going to probably go for a 3-hatch play here out of KilahAce. In fact, we've got the money to do that now. Usually you would take your gas and then take your hatchery. The overpull might make that a little bit weirder with the timing, so our hatchery's going to go down. We probably should take our gas now. But again, overpull does make timings a little bit strange. Chasing this SCVs around still. Back at home, we are getting our factory. We do have one boy still mining gas, so we're not going to go into a 1-1-1. This is going to be just a 1 factory play. Might still be mech behind this. We'll have to see later on what comes, but yeah, if that drone at least popped up here, 1 Zergling popped up here, you pop up and see only 2 Marines, you got to know something's coming. And this has actually got me really worried. We are going to see the 1-1-1, actually. I didn't know you could afford that with only 1 on gas. We are putting boys back into gas, so the 1-1-1. Let's see if this is going to be for Valkyries, or if he's going to go for some sort of drop, or what the plan is with this. Alright, these Zerglings are going to finally come across the map. It's going to be really important to get up here and see this Vulture as soon as possible. It looks like we do have this kind of sniffed out, though, so KilahAce is placing down that creep colony just to be safe. It's a little bit of a shame. All these Zerglings are basically forfeit, but a good little dance back and forth here to delay the Vulture even longer. These Zerglings will not make it home. So the more you can delay this Vulture, the better. And if you can get some damage on the Vulture, that's even better. But those Zerglings are basically dead. All right, we are starting to get our gas here. We haven't actually gotten our lair with our first 100 gas or speed, so we'll have to see what he wants to go for with that first 100 gas. These Zerglings are going to actually make it home. That's impressive. And we're going to go into a Hydra Den, actually. So are we going to skip the lair entirely, or are we just delaying to get the Hydra Den down? All right, we are going to see the Wraith. So it is a Wraith 1-1-1. Is there going to be a Valkyrie follow-up, or what is going to be the follow-up here? I do like the Hydralisk here. Doing a Hydra push against a 1-1-1 is actually extremely strong. Looks like we're going to get Siege Tanks probably immediately after this, which is basically what you need to hold against any kind of a Hydra push, but there is the potential here, especially with the 3 hatches early, to just spam Hydras at this point and move across the map and just end the game. I've won many a ZVT that way when the Terran goes for a 1-1-1. They can't really hold this command center. At worst, you cancel the command center. At best, you outright kill them. We are just droning up for now. We do have a Hydra speed and +1 range attack on the way. We do have a couple of Hydras coming out just on the off chance that there is a Wraith coming across the map, which of course we see there is. Still no lair out of our Zerg player here. Are we going to get Cloak is the question. We are starting to get that control tower. And we're going to go into a fast science facility, actually. Looks like, yeah. Quick science facility. Get a full scout, but this Wraith isn't going to really be able to do much damage. And now it's up to the Zerg to decide if he wants to go into lair tech and actually tech up from here, or if he's going to just go for a mass Hydra push. And we are seeing a ton of Hydras being made. We're going to lose an Overlord here, which is actually really bad. The fact that we didn't pull this back in when we saw the Wraith is really going to hurt the Zerg player. That's going to go down before the Hydralisk can come defend it. Going to supply block us just a little bit. We do have Larva, quite a bit actually, saved up that we can spend on this. Ooh, yeah, 2 Vultures definitely beat a Hydra. Got to pull that back. Fortunately, we don't lose it. It'll heal up before any kind of push comes out. And we do now see that this expansion is coming up here. That should be in range to see the, yeah. We're going to lose a second Overlord as well. which means we're going to need to make at least another Overlord. Probably make an extra one, because you're going to pop out at like 40, what is that, 46 supply, and you'll pretty much instantly supply block yourself again on the next larva round, so making a fourth one's probably the correct play here. Hydra speed is done. We are moving across the map. Back at home, we've got a bunch of bunkers coming up. Bunkers actually do pretty decently against Hydralisks. First siege tank is out as well. But we only have 4 Marines, so these bunkers are mostly for show. We'll see if KilahAce calls the bluff. Looks like he is going to push forward and call the bluff. Marine's going to come forward, and this is kind of the power of this, so even with only 4 Marines, you can start popping them from bunker to bunker and really damage these Hydras, soften them up. If we didn't get supply block, we'd probably have enough Hydras to break this, but as it stands, I don't think we can. Alright, so Wraith's going to fly back across the map, see if we can get some harassment done. It's not going to do much good in the defense, so if it can move across the map and get some damage done, that's great. If it can't, you know, it's not doing anything back at home anyways. We do find an Overlord, so that's going to get picked off. Let's see if KilahAce responds really quickly. He does have Hydras on the way. He might be able to save this Overlord. Looks like he's going to save it. Oh, don't lose that Wraith. Okay, 10 HP on that Wraith. That Wraith does manage to somehow squeeze away alive. And we lose the Wraith. So now we can send all the Hydras across the map. At this point, I think taking the thirds is the right decision. I would like to see the lair tech coming up there. It is immediately, because I don't think we're going to bust this anymore. These Hydras are just too late. Siege mode is almost done. Once siege mode is complete, these Hydras just don't do anything. There's maybe a small window he gets in where there's only 2 tanks left, and maybe he can snipe this first one that's too far forward and bust this, but it's really risky, and we're continuing to make extra Marines, so we can start filling up these bunkers, and we're up to a 3rd siege tank now. Yeah, I think this is the right decision. It's possible with good micro and good focus firing you could catch the Terran off guard, but I think it's better just to play this safe at this point. Probably going to have a bio follow-up. Yeah, bio follow-up here from our Terran player. We are starting to go into our irradiate tech from here. Evo chamber coming up for our Zergs. We're going to be on 2 Evos. We'll have to see if he wants to switch into the Spire tech from here. I do think even if he doesn't want to make mutas, that he should get the Spire tech out just so he has the option. Not all Zerg players enjoy playing with mutas, but it's always nice to have it there. If nothing else, it's a threat that the Terran player has to respect. Alright, these Vultures are moving out. They don't have speed, so if they're not careful, these could get picked off here by these Hydras, and not quite any reaction here from KilahAce, so they're actually going to get past and get over to this 3rd base and scout what's going down over here. Yeah, the bio switch is actually pretty normal in a 1-1-1. It's much more uncommon to see a full-on mech commitment after a 1-1-1, so KilahAce should hopefully be aware this is coming. That drone actually tanks 2 shots from the Vulture because it was still in the hatching animation. Did he actually kill an egg with Vultures? What? How is that even possible? That had to have been canceled. I think he canceled that. There's no way that those Vultures killed an egg. There's just no way. Alright, do we have mines on our Vultures yet? We do not. How's our upgrades looking? We got 1-0. Are we getting +1? We are getting +1 for our bio. And we are staying on Hydras. This has got me a little bit worried. And this is why the Spire is really important, even if you don't want to play mutas, to like just pop 1 muta or 1 pair of Scourge and fly in and see what the Terran's doing. Because if you're not aware that the bio switch is coming, your Hydras are going to really suffer. Hydras do okay against bio until the numbers get high enough and the upgrades get high enough. Alright, Queen's Nest coming up, so we are going to go into quick hive tech here from KilahAce. It's actually a bit delayed, actually. You usually have your hive on the way at about 9 minutes to 9 minutes 30. But with the overpull and the weird openings, I think that's actually a pretty quick hive in the timings of the way this worked out. +1 Carapace on the way for our Zerg player here. Still no Spire, which has me a little bit worried. We have a Zergling out front here. The siege tank push potential is really strong once this +1 finishes. We're going to have science vessels with irradiates. We have a bunch of bio coming out. We'll have the +1 before we push. Like, this is really dangerous for KilahAce. There's a real chance that this push comes out and just kills him. He's going to have to react really strongly. What do we have back at home? We have more Hydralisks, but not a lot coming. We have more being popped. We have, I think he thinks it's a mech because we are getting the Queen upgrades and we are moving into Queens, which might actually save him. He can just delay long enough to get the energy up on his Queens. Lurkers are on the way as well. We do see the Siege Tank starting to push away at the... Ooh. Pull back. Okay, we're going to sacrifice 1 Hydralisk here, but the rest are going to make it out without any damage, which is really good. And it's really delaying the Terran's ability to get across these ramps, too, which is going to buy us time. We need to get at least a couple of Queens out if we're going to go for that Bridling Tech, and the Bridling Tech might be really strong here. If we get a really good angle where the Bio can't attack the Queens and kill off these tanks instantly, it's a lot of money that was sunk into these tanks that's going to be gone. These Siege Tanks are pretty much the only thing that's going to stop the Zerg from being able to hold this, so... we do have at least 3 Queens out, I think I saw. 1... Ooh. Bit of a fight going on. Yeah, Yeah, you can't really engage this. You've got to just run at this point. But he does bait on the D-Matrix. That D-Matrix will die probably before he gets across the map. Coming forward with our full army here. We do have 2 queens out. I thought there was a third. Am I just crazy? I think I'm just crazy. It looks like there's only 2 here. Yeah, you gotta be really, really careful here. Oh my gosh, these science vessels coming over and getting irradiates on these lurkers for free, despite the fact that we have Hydra Tech out. Nice, gonna focus down 1 tank, gonna get a 2nd tank, and now we gotta pull back. 2 tanks for 2 Hydras, that's a trade that every Zerg will take every single day of the week. Ooh, gonna bleed a little bit of extra Hydras in, but it's still, honestly, even with bleeding off these Hydras, that was still a pretty good trade for our Zerg player. A little bit of an attack coming down here on the side. There's no Sunkens here, so that's actually really dangerous for our Zerg player. That could do a lot of damage. We're still quite a bit of energy off from our first Broodling. Ooh, Terran's got to be careful here. Going to push right into these lurkers if he's not careful. Fortunately, they only shoot the Marine that has the D-Matrix on him. More tanks rallying down, so we are going to do just a full-on tank committal to this push here. Meanwhile, back over here, so many drones are falling. Hydras are popping. We should be able to clean this up, but we're down to 5 drones left at this base. Maybe 6 under there? Let's see. 6 drones left over at this base. That's really good damage. And we are now at this bridge, so... Oh, we're going to be able to push across it for free, too. Zerg was not prepared to hold this bridge. Moving forward with the lurkers. Going to get a burrow down. Going to get at least a good volley off. This might have been a bit of an overcommitment from our Zerg player. Broodling's about to come on down for... Oh, well. Got another 20 seconds or so. But those are huge spines. Oh my gosh, yeah. Pushing across this ramp was really bad for Terran. We're just going to lose all of our tanks, all of our bio here. What do we got back over here? We got 4 Marines, 4 vessels, and 2 tanks now to hold us in. We actually have enough. We could probably push out here, especially if we wait for the Broodling. 1 Broodling on one of these tanks and then just push out. We'd probably break this position before these reinforcements come. Oh, and here it comes. First Broodling's going to go down. And that's okay. Trading energy, like, once you Broodling a tank, the Queen's already paid for itself. Now you're also getting an energy cost out of that. That was actually really great for the Zerg player that got irradiated. Alright, first Lurker Spines. Lurkers are kind of focusing the tank, which is not really what you want to... Oh, but that was a massive Lurker Spine. I think we're going to just barely break through here. Oh, well, actually, we get all the Lurkers finished off. We're going to have to pull back. There is still 1 Lurker here that I don't think the Terran knows about. More tanks coming across. Yeah, this Terran is just really putting pressure on our Zerg player here, but Zerg's doing really good at holding it. We do have our Hive finished up. Do we have Defiler Tech on the way? Not that I can see. We are making more drones. Looks like we have a drone over here that was trying to expand to this base, but... got stuck back there. We're going to see a lot of that this season, I'm sure. I've done it. I'm sure everyone else has. Alright, we do have 1 more Broodling. There's actually only 1 tank left, I think. Yeah, there's only 1 tank left, so we could actually Broodling that tank and just make it full bio versus Hydra. Yeah, free kill for that Lurker there. Queen is going to come out. It's going to get the Broodling off. Again, Queen's already paid for itself. Now you're just stealing energy from this vessels. Like... it's probably worth doing its energy to kill off a unit that you don't want to have in the game any longer, but that Queen did its job already. If you can keep it alive, it's great. If you can't, it's no big deal. Alright. Looks like Terran's wanting to expand here before he even expands here, potentially. How are our upgrades looking? 2-2 for our Zerg. Only 1-0, so we actually have a massive upgrade advantage for our Zerg player, which is going to make us Hydras actually pretty effective at fighting against this bio. The only thing the bio has going for it now is just it's much higher DPS. Hydras do not do full damage to bio, whereas bio does do full damage to the Hydralisks. But with 2 armor and only +1, these Hydras are only doing, or these Marines are only doing 4 damage a shot against these Hydralisks. So that's 20 shots to kill 1 Hydralisk. Okay, good response. He does scout that the army's coming up here to try and break this 4th base location, and this is going to be a really bad area for Launch to try and fight up if he goes for it. And it's looking like he's going to go for it, but there's already units here on the high ground. This is not the kind of fight that you want to take. This siege tank is not long for this world. It's going to go down almost instantly. Gets 1 shot off, and that's it. And honestly, there's enough Hydras here. If you unbury these Lurkers, you can probably chase these Marines all the way back to the Terran's base. And looks like that's exactly what we're going to see happen. Losing more and more Marines as we rally across the map. I don't think we can push across this bridge, but looks like he might be kind of just going for it. Man mode here. We're going to lose all these Lurkers before even Spines go out. It actually gets a couple of Marines there. Oh my gosh, that ended up going better than I thought it would, but we are going to lose all the Lurkers. But in the meantime, there's nothing back at home. This army over here needs to come back and reinforce the natural before it gets too bad. We're going to start losing vessels here. Every vessel that gets picked off is massive because we've been making siege tanks this whole time, so we don't have a lot of gas built up. 4th base has finished up for our Zerg player here. And with the reinforcements coming from both sides, we are going to have to run away. But that was really good for our Zerg player. We pushed the Terran all the way back. We got some science vessels for free. Like I said, every one of these siege tanks is a vessel that can't be made. We even made a dropship, so our vessel count is really going to start suffering if we start bleeding them off too much. But our Zerg players somehow sniffed this base out as well. Gonna send some Zerglings over here to finish that off. Oh, if he can stop that. Oh, it does finish, so he's gonna be able to lift it and save it, which is unfortunate. If he got in there just a little bit earlier and killed the SCV, he would have forced the cancel. I don't know about attacking in here, though. This might be a bit suicidal. Yeah, these Lings... Oh, they do have 2-1, so we actually are starting to get our Ling upgrades as well. Do we have our Defiler round quite yet? No, we have Ultralisk Cavern, so we're going to go into quick Ultras, and we are on 5 bases now as well. And we're just kind of flooding Lings in. Actually, Lings going over here would be pretty big. They could get that tank. Oh, Firebat's going to get here just in time, though. Yeah, that tank's going to live. One Lurker pushing forward, going to burrow here. This could actually do really big damage. The vessels aren't nearby. Okay, Launch does notice at the very least and pulls away from it. The upgrades for our Zerg player are just out of control. We got 2-1, where our Zerg's on 2-1 for his melee and 2-2 for his range. Like, Zerg's upgrades have been just... He's been on top of his upgrades all game. This tank almost dead with 2 kills. Our science vessel's kind of hiding in the back here, but we are starting to slowly accumulate energy. The Ultralisks are definitely a big threat here because we don't have really good upgrades from our bio, so we're only on +2 for the +2 of the Ultralisk, which puts the Ultralisks on basically a decent ground. You realistically want to be at least 1 armor above, and then the Ultras basically become unkillable, but when you're on even, the Ultras are in a pretty good spot. More and more Ultras are popping. Bunch of scans going down. Oops. We're going to scout both of these bases, but we don't scout the Ultra Tech, so I don't know if he's even aware the Ultra Tech is out. He is now. Ultras and Hydra spilling across the ramp here. We do have mines out, so these mines are actually a really good counter to the Ultralisk, but there's not quite a large number of them yet. This Ultralisk getting irradiated. Gonna have to start throwing down a lot of irradiates, though. We have a lot of built-up energy here. We're gonna have to use it to survive. This might have actually been a bit of a misplay from our Zerg player here. He's gonna throw away a lot of army trying to break into a really sieged-up position for our Terran player here. These Ultras are gonna trade out okay, but they are eventually gonna fall. You gotta get that tank, yeah. Once that tank's gone, like, this Ultra can kill all these Marines, no problem at all. Especially without the medics supporting them. Looks like he's going to just try and get some SCVs as well. A bit of a cost-inefficient trade there for our Zerg player, but he's on 5 bases, so he definitely has the money and the gas to spare. This is looking really good for KilahAce at the moment. But the Vessel Cloud's pretty scary, especially since we don't have Defiler Tech. 1 plague to kill all those vessels would be massive, because we've just been spending all of our gas on other things. I hear Marines dying somewhere. Not sure where that was. One Ultra gonna come down here and suicide himself into a bunker. Unfortunately, he's not long for this world. Oh, well, he might burn down the bunker. We'll see if that bunker gets repaired. Maybe that Ultralisk did manage to do something. Zerg, in the meantime, is taking the entire map. He may have thrown a lot of units away for almost nothing, but oh... Okay, he does get the Vulture. But behind that, he's taken pretty much the entire map, so... We got a really good drone count as well. We're at 61 drones. Got 3 macro hatches in our main here. We are starting to make Scourge to start dealing with this vessel count a little bit. I still would like to see the Defiler Tech. Oh, is he going to use 2 on that? Yeah, it is. Oh, well, the second one just dies to die. But every vessel that we can reduce is pretty big, though. Our Terran does not have a ton of gas banked up because he's been building those siege tanks all game. Ooh, Terran pushing out to this end of the map here is probably not a good idea. He's a mostly Firebat army. There's, what, like a group and a half of Marines and the rest are Firebats? This is not going to do well against this army for a Zerg player here. However, the Zerglings leading in first, so a lot of these Zerglings actually getting killed by the Firebats before they even get picked off. Bunch of D-Matrixes going down, but it's not going to be enough. There's just way too much Zergling and Ultra there. Pushing out across this ramp was kind of suicidal, honestly. Do we have a ton more irradiated energy. Just start throwing irradiated on all these Ultralisks. You need to do it before they get across the map, definitely. There we go. Ultralisks are irradiating each other as well as they come across the map. These mines could be massive. Ooh, that mine's going to be huge. Yeah, Terran's going to just barely hold because of the mines and the irradiates, but, well, he pulled back. I'm pretty sure he has more irradiates. Yeah, he has way more irradiates. I'm not sure why he's not irradiating these Ultralisks. These Ultras, oh my gosh, they're getting so bottlenecked on this bridge and just damaging the heck out of each other. But more and more Zerg are flying across the map. We did have a small counter, or a small drop over here that killed this third. I'm sorry that I missed that, the fourth base over there. So in the meantime, Terran did get some damage on our Zerg, but I don't know if the Zerg, or if the Terran can hold this anymore. Because the Zerg's just going to start rallying across the map with massive amounts of forces. We've got an irradiated Ultra in the mineral line. Going to start really decimating this units here. And there's one Marine to hold against the Muta transition. These are probably unupgraded. Yeah, they're unupgraded, but... Oof. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about using these this way. Yeah, start focusing down some of these science vessels. Unfortunately, without the plague, there's only one that's actually weak enough to get killed, and he's not finding it to focus fire it down. But more and more Zerg rallying across the map. This Ultra's still in the mineral line. It's got 10 kills. It's going to take a miracle for the Zerg to come, or the Terran to come back from this. Killing this fourth base was really good. He got a ton of drones, but it's just not going to be enough. GG is going to be called. KilahAce is going to take his game as a victory. All right, and then it's going to be, go ahead and update the scoreboard. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. Give me just about 1 minute. I'm just going to go get some salt water. I got a bit of a sore throat, so I want to kind of take care of that before it gets too long in the cast. So I'll be back literally a minute. I'll see you guys here in just a moment. Alright, thank you guys so much for holding there for me. Let's go ahead and hop right into our next game. I won't make you guys wait, since I made you guys wait for the BRB screen. We'll go ahead and hop straight into this one. KilahAce in chat saying, I do like defilers, they're just harder to micro. Ultras are just 8 move. Well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. Alright, and in the top left here, we have... Oh, well, let's go ahead and shift-tab that, because blue versus blue is not going to be castable. In the top left, we have our red Zerg. It is KilahAce. And in the bottom right, we have our blue Protoss. It is ash.Baal. Ultras are the Protoss unit of Zerg. Is that what you're saying there, KilahAce? Oh, looks like KilahAce got a bit distracted here at the start of the game. A bit slow to get that drone to mine. It's not going to cost him the game by any means, but definitely something you don't want to do if you can help it. Baal is not a Terran player. Let me fix that. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Perfect. Okay, probe's going to go down to make the pylon wall. We'll see if he's going to go for the forge or the gateway based on whether he scouts with this probe. Usually if they scout with the probe, it's a forge. If they don't scout, it's going to be a gateway, but you can not scout and do some other stuff as well. So it's looking like it's probably going to be a gateway expand here out of our Protoss player. Endgame iRk, you unlock Protoss. Alright, let's see what KilahAce goes for in this matchup. He did go for the Overpull versus our Terran. This is a 2-player map, so Overpull is definitely preferred for most Zerg players on 2-player maps. The risk of getting cannon rushed or getting your hatchery blocked is just too high to go for a 12 hatch for most players, or an 11 hatch. Yeah, the Overpull is going to go down for KilahAce. He actually makes it with one of his more efficient mining. Usually, so on patches like this, usually you'd put your spawning pool here, which makes this super efficient. It makes it a straight line to mine from, and you'd leave the drone there for more efficient mining, but not the end of the world. This is your least efficient patch, but you can mineral boost both of these patches here. Alright, and we do have the forge going down, so it is going to be a forge expand. We're just not going to scout off of the forge, or off the pylon like you usually would with the forge expand. So he's probably expecting the overpull, not expecting to be able to do a cannon rush anyways. And looks like KilahAce is going to send out a scout of his own. This last drone pop will go for the expand. Let's see if he's going to try and fight the probe or if he's going to run past it. He does get a shot on the probe, so he's going to fight the probe. Ironically, even though he got the first shot, if they both A-clicked, the probe would still win because probes are OP. The hatchery's going to go down. It's not going to get blocked. This drone bought it just enough time to make sure that hatchery went down on time. Alright, we are going to get the cannon before the Nexus. Actually not a fan of that. If he had gone into the main, he would have seen that we weren't making larva. He definitely could have gotten the Nexus before that cannon. But we did skip probe, it looks like, to get both of them down there pretty much at the same time. Again, probes beat drones in a 1v1, even if you get the first shot, so this drone's got to run away. And 2 Zerglings are out. Gonna chase this probe around, but not be able to get too much done from there. Alright, so let's see if our Zerg player is going to go for the fast gas or the fast third here. Usually you would take your gas right around now and take your hatch on 15. That's the style that I play in this matchup most of the time. But it looks like he is going to skip the early gas and go for that 15 hatchery. I'll probably take the gas not too long after that. Even if you don't want to go for Mutus, you do need to get that Lair Tech up to get to the Spire. That way you can get some Scourge out to deal with the Corsairs. Unless you're going to go for a delayed gas and do something like a 5 hatch before gas, in which case the timing needs to work out to get your Hydralisks out just before that Corsair gets across the map. Since this is a Forge expand, the tech actually does come faster than with the Gateway expand, despite the fact that you would think that it would be the opposite. It's just the way it works out. You're a little bit safer with the cannon early on, so you can tech up a little bit quicker. Nope. Probes beat drones. If the drone gets the first shot off and they both A-clicked, the drone will still lose. The drone has to get 2 shots before the probe gets a single shot off, or the probe will win every single time. Probe's OP. And yeah, part of it's to do with damage type. The vultures do full damage to shield. They don't do full damage to... well, actually, is Vulture's explosive, right? So yeah. They would do full damage to drones and all that, but the regen, if they don't hit it at the exact same time, they'll get that regen instantly. So you'll hit one and knock it down to 20, it'll regen to 21 instantly, and then the second shot will hit, you'll be at 1 HP left over. Zerg Salt, says Memnon. I do like this. I'm really bad about doing this. This is the correct way to do it. You take your 4th hatchery at your 3rd, so you can drone your 3rd up quicker. I'm really bad about doing that. I always throw my 3rd hatch at my 3rd base because I'm just lazy. It's also a little bit riskier having it here, but realistically, if they can kill one of these hatches, then you've probably lost the game anyways, so... Ooh. See, look at that. How did that probe survive? That was like 700 hits from that Zergling. That Zergling smacked the crap out of that probe. Probe's OP, man. Yeah, Zergs start regenerating the second they take damage, whereas shields are on like a time. They do it every X amount of ticks, regardless of whether or not they've been damaged. I'm pretty sure that's how it works out. You don't quote me on that. It's been a long time since I've done any research on that kind of little stuff, because at this point it's just known. 2 shots hitting at the same time kill. If not, you need 3. But I'm pretty sure that's the reasoning why. Alright, so we are going up to 5 hatches. We do have our gas on the way. We don't have a lair, but we do have the Hydralisk Den. So we are doing a kind of 5 gas before, or 5 hatch before gas timing here. Actually, what is the... I think that was actually a 5 gas, or 5 hatch before gas. I wasn't paying attention, but based on the amount of gas mined, I'm pretty sure we got our 5th hatch down as this gas was going down, so... It's a little bit of a different variant of it than what I usually have newer players try, but basically the same thing. This gas went down just a little bit earlier. Our first Corsair airs out. They usually pop at about 5:30. But he's not sending it across the map. He really needs to send this across the map. You really need to get the scouting information. Okay, there we go. Trying to send this Overlord away. This Overlord is going to get found, though. Are we going to actually snipe this Overlord? Yeah, don't do this, Protest players. Go straight across the map, scout. You can always come back for this later. However, if you think they're going to go for Lair and go for Spire Tech, and you think you can get this before the Scourge get here, that's also one reason to potentially go for this Overlord. Because if you scout first and this Spire finishes and chases the Corsair out, then this Overlord gets to live. But I don't know. Bill's feeling confident. He's feeling comfortable. He doesn't feel like he needs the scouting information, so he's going to go for that. But as a general rule, I would say always scout first. unless you know exactly what's going on or you feel confident in the game or state where it's currently at. We are continuing to make Corsairs, so we are getting our +1 air weapons and continuing to make Corsairs against a Zerg player that's not even on lair tech. So this could be really bad for Baal. In fact, now that he scouts the Hydras already, let's see if he cancels the +1 air attack. He's keeping it going for now. We're still continuing to make Corsairs. It's still a valid thing you can do. It's still you still have that 7-minute 30 move out with the Corsair Zealot, so that might be what he's going for with this. And that can do a lot of damage to a player that's going for this kind of a style because your Hydra count might be a bit delayed. But like, as you can see, we're already at 34 drones with 36 probes. And doing the 5 hatch before gas and getting away with it, you get quite a lot of drones out really quick. I would like to see a little bit more drones in the main. A little bit more in the natural. His third base is well saturated. Like, this is good enough. But for 6 hatcheries, you want to be on 46 drones. For 5 hatcheries, you want to be on 36, I think it is. 36 or 38. And we're continuing to make Corsairs back at home. Did we let that +1 finish? Yeah, we are going to let the +1 finish. So we're probably going to see the Zealot Corsair move out timing. Zealot legs are going to finish up right about now, as well as the Corsair +1. And then as you can see, that 7:30 move out timing, you end up with Zealot leg speed +1 on the Zealots, +1 on the Corsairs. And it can be really deadly if it catches a Zerg off guard. And it might actually catch KilahAce off guard here. We have been droning heavily, so we don't have a lot of Hydralists out. This honestly has the potential of just ending the game. KilahAce has a ton of hatcheries at the moment, and he's got a lot of larvae built up, so he should be okay as long as he spends it, but he's a bit supply blocked at the moment, so he's waiting for his Overlords to finish. And he's going to get even more supply blocked from here because there's nothing here to keep these Overlords alive. Ooh, getting on top of the drones. We've got half the army fighting against the army of Zerg, half of the army fighting against the drones. Those drones are going to continue to fall. Corsairs going over Overlords in the meantime. More and more drones are falling. We're at 40 drones. Oh my gosh, so many Overlords are going to fall over here. There's only one Hydra trying to stop all that. We don't have the drones shift click, but we have enough Zealots here to finish off the amount of Hydras that are here. In the meantime, more and more Overlords are going down. We're at 50 out of 29 supply, 50 out of 21, 50 out of 5. There is no more Overlords on the map. There is only hatcheries left for supply. Oh my gosh, every single Overlord fell, and almost every single drone at this base fell as well. In fact, there's enough Zealots here that he can probably fight these Hydralisks. Ooh, Zealots get a little choked up trying to get to whatever they were trying to target originally, so we are going to finally clean this out, but these Corsairs, once again, looking for more damage. He knows Overlords have to be popping. He knows there's almost no Hydras left on the map, so these Overlords can, or these, oh no, we're sneaking a DT into the main. I don't know if KilahAce saw that. He did see it. We're pulling drone. Oh no, he accidentally clicked stop. Okay, we're going to get them out. We're going to lose maybe 1 or 2 drones maximum. But now these Overlords are going to start falling as well. Ooh, focus down the injured ones. Oh, this is so bad. We're still supply blocked. We pumped a ton of Overlords. We managed to sneak out a few more Hydralisks, which is really good. It's going to help clean out these Corsairs. In fact, I don't know about throwing all these Corsairs away. But we're still supply blocked here for our Zerg. Zerg has really good vision, though, so he knows exactly what's going on the map. He knows there's no expansion coming up for our Zerg player, or a Protoss player. This DT is eventually going to get 3 drones total for his life, but it also wasted a ton of mining time in that main. We are droning up heavily behind this. Back up to 34 drones. We want to get back to that 46-ish number and get our 6 hatchery down for sure, but Zerg has survived that initial push. He has enough units now. He's able to pump out enough units that the Protoss can't really push anytime soon. I would like to see the Protoss go for an expand, though, because the Zerg can't really push either. All right, we're droning back up, making a bunch of Overlords. We're going to overmake Overlords, but that's okay. We just won't have to make them for a while. And I like the burrowed Zerglings. How much actually is this seeing of the army? We actually are seeing quite a bit of the army movement here, so usually you don't get burrow in this matchup. This is actually going to pay off for Baal, or excuse me, KilahAce in a really big way this time. He knows exactly where the army is. He's not quite reacting to it yet, though, so if you're going to pay for the money for burrow, definitely need to... Okay, he does notice. Good. I was going to say, definitely need to be paying attention to that minimap and using that information if you're going to pay for the burrow for it. It's just burrow Zerglings everywhere. This one's not blocking this nexus, and that one's not blocking that nexus. That might be intentional as well, though. Alright, this is really dangerous, really scary, because we do have Storm this time, and we're in a defensive position. Lurkers are going to finish up just barely in time, though. That's probably going to buy us what we need. Oh, but we're going to stack them against the Storm. 1 Storm kills all 3 of... or 2 Storms kills all 3 of these. Okay, managed to keep 1 alive. That's going to go... Yeah, that's really bad. That might be game over. If we had spread those Lurkers out, we might have bought ourselves enough time to... Oh, the Storm on the drones as well. Okay, we do have quite a bit of army here. But we've lost a lot of drones. Protoss is expanding behind this. We are rallying more units across the map, but they actually aren't coming into this fight. Decent storm goes down. How many storms do we have left? God, there's so many storms left. There's at least 2. 1 more left. Okay, we're out of storms. But we're also out of units for Zerg. There's more Zealots than there are Hydras, but these Zealots are pretty squishy. If we fight with all of our Hydras, maybe we can actually kill this. Zergling's coming down. Alright, now you gotta pull these Hydras back. Let the Zerglings tank for you. Ooh, losing more Overlords to the Archons here. This Archon has 16 kills. This one has 9. Ooh, good storm goes down. These are really soft Hydras. Losing our 3rd base as the Protoss expanding behind that. That might be game over. Alright, this is it. This is all the army that KilahAce has. He has to kill this army with this army to be able to expand and maybe have a chance, but I just don't know that it's going to be doable. GG is called. Baal is going to win this game. Well played game from Baal for sure. Of our both blue players. Protoss race is too good, man. Nerf Protoss. No one wants to play against them. Alright, it's going to be... That's a Protoss player. Alrighty. Just staring into your guys' soul real quick while I update the scoreboard. Grab some water real quick. Hashumi, thank you for the follow. And Jake Pliskin SDA, also thank you for the follow, my friends. Much appreciated. Let's go ahead and hop into our next game here. And in the top left, we have our blue Zerg. It is KilahAce. And in the bottom right, it is our red Protoss Boomer UA. Not sure if UA is a clan tag or stands for something. I've never seen that as a clan before, though, so... Oh, poor Kilah. His baby woke up right as the game started. That's unfortunate timing. Oh, is it Ukraine? Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Is Boomer from actually from Ukraine, then? I hope he's doing well if that's the case. Alright, ZVP action here. KilahAce versus Boomer. Should be an interesting game. Kilah definitely has a more interesting style, but his ZVT is a lot more interesting than his ZVP. His ZVP is a bit more normal. ZVT was definitely a really unique style that's very much his own. Looks like we are going to go for the Forge expand here, potentially. Oh, nope, we just forgot to re-rally our Nexus. Kilah, are you still in the chat? I gotta get to the bottom of this. Need more baby sedatives. Kilah, did you upload this replay? Do you remember if you uploaded this one or not? I want to know if that's the reason why I can see the rally points for the hatcheries, but not the rally point for the Nexus. Yeah? Okay, so that's what it is. So that's really weird. I didn't know about that about Brood War. Only the player who uploads it has the rally point show. Alright, KilahAce going for the overpull once again. The probe, however, does get over here a lot earlier than last game, so could go for that hatchery block if he wants to. We actually aren't sending a scouting drone this time, but we're also not sending a drone down to expand. Okay, is this going to go down now, yeah? Yeah, okay. And it looks like it's not going to get blocked, so we are going to get that hatchery down basically for free again. It is going to be the Forge expand. You can see the control groups too, but you don't see any. Oh yeah, you're right. He's got his drone on one. It's Madman doesn't hotkey his Overlord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. He doesn't hotkey his Overlord. What a madman! KilahAce, hotkey this Overlord. I'm assuming your hatchery's hotkeyed and that just doesn't work in the replay, but it also seems like you don't hotkey your hatcheries either. For shame. Alright, Photon Cannon going down, so we are going to go for the cannon before the Nexus once again, but this time we did see more Zerglings popping, so this time it's probably a little bit of a safer bet to go for that. We do leave 2 behind to chase this probe down. Get some pretty good damage on the probe as well, but shields are pretty good. They do regen. And we're continuing to make Zerglings, actually, so we're up to 8 Zerglings on the map at the moment. Yep, you can see hotkeys. Let's see where we're at. 1 is drone. That's it. All we have is our drone hotkeyed. Where is this drone? This drone's not even out on the map doing anything anymore. For shame. For shame. We're all going to judge you now. Alright, the second cannon is coming up. We did force the second cannon forced cutting some probes as well to get the gateway down, so these Zerglings have done a little bit of damage, but they're not going to really be able to do much. They will at the very least allow him to drone freely. Oh, ooh. We're taking our hatchery at our natural, so we're going to see probably a 2-base Hydra here. Gas is being taken. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a Hydra bust out of KilahAce here. Nothing else that he can spend this money on. Oh, this is open. These Zerglings are going to be able to get in. He's going to get on top of this cannon. Oh, he's just going to run past, actually. I think well, with the second one finishing up right then, this might be the right play. We're going to get 3 Zerglings into the main base. This is going to cost a lot of lost mine time. We're going to force a cannon in the main base as well, just to be extra safe. Okay, we do have our Zerglings finally hotkeyed, so at least that's something. Ooh, we lose 1 probe. We're going to lose a second probably here. Yep, now we got to pull these back. Ooh, almost lose another Zergling. Oh, that probe just barely lives. That's 3 probes that are going to fall. We've lost so much mining time, though, and lost 3 probes. 13 probes to 15 drones. We're going to lose another probe here. Yep. We're not really macroing back at home for the Zerg, though. Do we have the Hydra done on the way yet? We do not. Are we just droning behind this? Because that's kind of dangerous. We've done a lot of damage here, but Protoss can definitely come back. Alright. Nothing on 1, nothing on 2. And we currently have 0 hotkeys for KilahAce. KilahAce has nothing hotkeyed at all, just so everyone knows. Alright, we are sending a scout out because Protoss doesn't know exactly what's going on behind this. It looks like we're going to go into a Spire tech from here, it's looking like. But this might get scouted out because the Zergling's not going to be able to stop the scout from coming out. We do have 2 pairs of Zerglings on the way. Maybe they can pop in time to block this ramp so that way our Protoss player does not see the Spire tech on the way. Oh, we are going to give it a Hydra Den. So are we going to see Lurker drops here? You don't really... I mean, Lurker bust is a thing, but not really against Protoss. Alright, you can block this ramp with 1 Zergling. You need to place it right there, though. This probe's going to get in. Oh, good pullback. Oh, probe sees the Hydra Den. That's big. Yeah, he probably macros with the F keys, as would guess. Still nothing hotkeyed. None of the Zerglings that just popped are hotkeyed. KilahAce, my friend. We do have good scouting information going on for our Zerg player here. The drone count's still higher than the probe count. We don't have a 3rd on the way, though, which has got me a little bit worried. That Hydrogen has finished up. I actually wouldn't mind seeing the Spire go down, like, right now. You're a Zerg? Alright, more pylons coming up. Let's see what the tech's going on. I think there's a siren going by in the background. Sorry if you guys can hear that. I live right next to a fire station. That happens on occasion. Alright, our drone count's really strong for 2 bases. Okay, we do have the Spire on the way. Do we have the second gas coming down? Yeah, I like the idea of going Mutas here. There's 1 cannon in the main base. Our tech's really delayed for Protoss. In fact, he's skipping his Stargate altogether. Mutas could be really big here. Alright, let's see what we got hotkeys wide. 1 is Zerglings, nothing on 2, nothing 3, nothing 4, nothing 5, nothing 6, nothing on anything else. We only use the hotkey number 1 as KilahAce. It's the only hotkey we need. Man, we have so many drones for 2 bases. This is like a Terran's mineral line. Alright, we need to switch into this gas if we are going to go for mutas. Gotta switch into this gas. Go. We're taking a 3rd base behind this. Maybe we're not going for mutas. Maybe the Spire's just anti-Corsair, but we also see there's no Corsair tech on the way, so it'd be a bit strange. In fact, yeah, we're going to go into a 3-gate Adun play. 3-gate speed Zilla. Okay, so we are going mutas. We just didn't mine from this gas immediately, which is unfortunate. Could have had a bit more mutas out at the moment, but it's not the end of the world. We do have 2 on the way with 2 pairs of Scourge, which, again, KilahAce. We've had an Overlord over this base the entire time. We know there's no Corsairs. Not sure what the Scourge are for. That's okay. Alright, hotkey check. That's one. Still only using hotkey number 1. I'm never going to let you live it down, KilahAce. Alright, first Scourger out. Scourger can move across the map, scout, and see if they can pick off any Corsairs, but of course there are no Corsairs to pick off, unfortunately. More mutas are popping up. Do we have... We have Overlord speed coming, actually. Maybe we are going to go for drops eventually? Sunken back here at home at the 3rd. This is actually a pretty decent SimCity. Alright, up to 5 mutas now. One of them's not going across the map. We do need to get Carapace if we're going to stick on mutas, but I think he's just going to make the 5 and leave it at that. If he gets into the natural here pretty quick, he can start picking some stuff off here, but the main's pretty protected with this 1 cannon. 5 mutas do kill 1 cannon, but 3 don't. Well, they probably do, but you lose 2 in the process. Alright, Zealots moving out across the map. We do have enough defense at home. We don't have to worry about this number of Zealots. Although we'd lose our 3rd base, so they went to the 3rd. Alright. Let's see if 2 mutas do, in fact, kill 1 cannon. The rest of the mutas are going to come in and ruin it, but yeah. GG is actually called. Boomer is going to call GG. KilahAce is going to take the game. Alright, how many more games do we got for you guys? It's KilahAce versus Boomer. We got 4 more games. Alrighty. No hotkeys is how winners do it. Darn right. Don't underestimate KilahAce. Hotkeys are overrated. Alright, get that back up. Make sure that's correct. And that. Okay, perfect. I'm going to take a quick short break here. Guys, get your guys some water, get yourself some snacks if you need, and I will see you guys here in just a moment. Alright, and we are back, guys. We're going to hop into our last 4 games of the night. Sorry, give me just a second. Let me make sure that's not important. Okay, was not important. Alright, let's go ahead and hop into our game here. We are going to get some Mutallar versus ash.Baal. Thank you, McTarren. I appreciate it. Cost me a lot more money than I want to admit. All right, in the top left, it is our red Zerg. It is Mutaller. And in the bottom right, we have our blue Protoss. It is ash.Baal. Another PVZ. Bunch of PVZs in a row here, but it was a pretty Protoss heavy week for them. I think it was Protoss, or 2 Protosses a turn in Zerg, if I remember right. Mutaller versus ash.Baal. This should be a pretty good matchup. Mutaller's a pretty decent player. ash.Baal's, of course, really strong as well, so I think I personally favor Baal a little bit here, but I definitely would not underestimate Mutaller. Mutaller's a really strong player. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Alright, we are going to get the pylon on the low ground once again. We'll have to see if Baal last time went for the Forge Expand, but did not scout with the probe. We'll see if he does the same this time or not. Looks like he is once again going to send that probe back to his main base. So if anyone has to fight Baal next week and they're a Zerg player, take note. Or I guess there's not going to be any games next week because this is the last preseason week, and then we got probably a week off before they do the team announcements. Let's go, Baal. You fight the Baal, you will fail. Got some rhymes coming out here. Alright, we got Overpull coming out of Mutaller here. That's pretty standard for Zerg these days. In fact, I don't 12 hatch or 11 hatch almost ever anymore. Even on 4-player maps, I still prefer the Overpull. It's just so much stronger, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. Okay, so we are going to see if it's going to be a Forge or the Gateway here. Saved up quite a bit of money, so we're getting it as late as possible. And we do have the Forge once again. So both games, Baal went for the Forge Expand, but did not scout with this first probe, which is a bit unusual. Definitely could catch a Zerg a bit off guard. First drone coming out as a scouting drone. Second drone's not immediately heading towards the natural, though. In fact, looks like Mutaller's just going to expand to his third base. He's not even going to try and fight for the natural. He could have got it up with Baal's timing, but that's okay. Since Baal's going for the Forge Expand, he'll be perfectly fine. He's not going to risk losing this to early Zealot pressure or anything like that. We do have 2 pairs of Zerglings coming up, and he is saving up Larva until he scouts. Oh, nope, he's going to spend that on a drone. Some Zergs save up the Larva until they get across to make sure that it's not a 2-gate, and some do spend it. I'm personally kind of in the camp to spend that first Larva and then save up, but I also scout with a drone. Although on a 2-player map like this, I don't always scout with a drone, so I don't think either's wrong or right. Everyone has their own personal preference and style. Alright, this drone's going on a little quick. Usually you would take your third base on 15, but looks like he's trying to take it on 13. So we're going to have a bit of a Larva buildup. Actually kind of curious if that third Larva is going to pop before he spends his money. We're going for a really fast gas as well. So it's a 13-12, and we are going to get the drone just before that third Larva pops up. Oh! Oh, almost lose the Overlord. I'll zoom in on that Overlord butt. Boop. Yep, here we go. Alright, this probe continuing to get chased around. We are up to 3 bases for our Zerg player. Oop, gonna just throw away 2 Zerglings, but we do scout and get the information. I don't know if he actually saw the Nexus, but yeah, that far back he didn't see the Nexus, but you got to assume there's a Nexus behind this. There's no reason to go for a Forge and then do some sort of weird, cheesy play unless you're like really trying to throw your opponent off and like mind game them. Alright, continuing to pop out drones. Not seeing any signs of what the tech for Zerg wants to be here. We are continuing to mine this gas. We might see the lair come down at the third base here just to, just to make sure that the Protoss doesn't see it for free. So he doesn't know what this gas is being spent on. It could still be Zergling speed, so we still got to be wary of that potential. Why didn't the Protoss research walking photon cannons? This isn't StarCraft 2, my friend. Our drone count's really high in our natural, so I wouldn't mind seeing a small transfer to the natural, like 4 or 5 drones. Alright, probe is continuing to scout. He's going to finally see that lair, so he will know the lair is started. He won't know the exact timing because he didn't get down here in time, but he should have a pretty good idea because he saw the gas was there when he got across the map. We are going to lose the probe for it, but seeing the lair is pretty big. Stargate is on the way. It's actually a pretty quick Stargate. Like I said, man, Forge first. You get tech out so fast as a Protoss player. Okay, good. We are sending some of the drones down. Actually, a little bit of an overtransfer. 1 drone too many, but that's fine. We can send one of these drones moving this egg to mine. Good spread. Spreads his drones out so that nothing's clumping up on a single mineral patch. We are getting the scouting on the timing here for the Stargate. The Zerglings are going to run right past these Zealots. 6 Zerglings can beat 2 Zealots if the Zealots aren't microed, but I'm pretty sure Baal will micro, so... I don't think he noticed. He's just continuing to drone back at home. So these Zealots could do some damage here. We do have Zergling speed about to finish. These Zerglings can get back quickly, but at the very least, Baal could force a lot of lost mining time here, which will be really big for his gameplay here. Spire is on the way for our Zerg player as well. Okay, good. Mutaller does notice the second these Zealots come in, so he's not going to lose a drone. These Zerglings are coming back. They will be able to fight it. With speed, they should be able to clean those out, even with only 6 of them there. Unless these 2 Zealots get into a good position. Good micro from both players, pulling back the injured Zerglings and pulling back the injured Zealots. And yeah, we are going to finish cleaning this up. He's trying to run to the mineral patches. He's not going to be able to get there with Zergling speed. Oh, he actually lets the Zealot get back there, but didn't tuck back in quite far enough, so we got all 3 Zerglings on there to attack. Random creep colony went down, probably just a panic colony. Really quick Templar tech. First Corsair is out, second Corsair on the way. Baal once again going to pick off this Overlord. This Overlord extremely weak from getting shot from the cannon earlier. And we do have our 4th hatchery coming up as well. We haven't moved our drones back to our 3rd base yet, so we're kind of oversaturated in our natural now. How's our main doing? Our main is 1 drone per mineral patch, so that's good. We do eventually want to start saturating that a little bit more as we get our drone count up higher, but for now that's perfectly fine. And we forced a lot of Zerglings here out of Mutallar. So Mutallar's economy is a little bit hit, 34 to 28. It's usually actually about where you'd expect to be. 36 to 28 is usually the... Oh no, Scourger's so dumb. He A-clicked on the Corsair, so the Scourge stopped right before the attack went off. Alright, 5th hatch is coming down for our Zerg player here, so yeah, we're not going to see Muta play. Probably see a Hydralisk Den coming down. Probably go like right there. Zealot move out is coming. The the Scourge did see it though. We actually do have mutas. I'm just wrong. We're not going to see mutas? No, we are going to see mutas. All right, we got, what is that, 7 Zerglings? 9 Zerglings. Oh no, these Zealots are going to run right past where the army was at. Fortunately, we do see it now, so we're going to get on top, or going to turn around and get back on top of these Zealots. But these Zealots can run right into the main and get actual damage done. We're at the very least going to lose some mining time here, but we might get some of these drones as well. Let's see how well these do. Lose 1 drone. A second's going to go down for sure. We're going to lose a 3rd for sure as well. That should be the end of it, though. These Zerglings can kind of stop these Zealots from doing too much else. Oh. Might lose another drone up here. Okay, no, we don't lose any more drones. So we lose 3 drones with that attack. DT in the meantime, killing 7 drones in the 3rd base. I was wondering what was going on down there. It was a freaking DT, man. Oh no. Oh no, this is looking really bad for Mutallar. Alright, we continue to make Corsairs. Yeah, we are continuing to make Corsairs. We did get the +1 air weapons. Got a cannon coming down our mineral line. These mutas are pretty much our only chance of actually eating out this game. But Baal is getting prepared to deal with it. He actually needs to snipe this cannon before it finishes. I wouldn't even worry about the probes first. I'd worry about this cannon first. Yeah, take that cannon down before the Corsairs can get here. We have 1 pair of Scourge plus an extra. Okay, well we did force probes off the mineral line. 36 to 22 though is a massive difference. This DT is still alive. It's at 8 kills now, chasing this drone across the map. We still aren't mining from our 3rd base because this darn DT... Oh, alright, this DT's dead. 25 to 36. We are remining from here. We have enough Corsairs to deal with the mutas. This is looking so good for Baal right now. Baal is in a commanding position. It's not game over by any means yet, but it's going to be really hard for Mutallar to make a comeback here. Got good saturation in our main, nothing at our 3rd. We're a little bit oversaturated in our natural. Let's see, trying to get this with just the drones. What are we at? Yeah, so we can move like 2 or 3 drones back over to the 3rd base to get a little bit more efficient mining at the 3rd, but it's definitely not game ending by any means. For anyone who's watching the streamer cast, sorry, that was my Discord. I thought I was on D&D, but apparently I am not, so my sincere apologies for that if you went and checked your Discord. In fact, let me go ahead and quickly switch myself to... There we go. Alright, we're just continuing that mute account. Are we getting the carapace upgrade for our Zerg player? We are not. Oh, this is really scary. We're basically an entirely Mutalist-based army. There's an Archon with a bunch of Corsairs here. Our Zerglings and our Mutalists are not going to fare well against this army. Do we have +1 done? We do have +1. Do we have upgrades on our Zerg by chance? We don't. Our Zerglings are pretty much dead. Okay, the Sunken's going to finish, but Mutallar's going to call GG almost instantaneously. I don't blame him. That would have been almost impossible to hold. Ash build's going to take it. I think so far he's undefeated in this week. Alright, there we go. That finished up. Is this Bisu? Oh man, it's winter. My lips are so chapped. Alright, what do we got this time? It's versus... Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and hop into our next game. Let's go Mutaller versus the Terran. Well, not quite there yet. In the... Oh, hold on one second. In the top left, we have our red Zerg. It is Mutaller. And in the bottom right, we have our blue Protoss. It is Boomer UA. Probably see an overpull again from Mutaller here. It's just a safe bet. We'll have to see if Boomer wants to go for the Gateway Expand or the Forge Expand. Forge Expand's kind of come back into flavor again. Which means we'll probably start seeing 11 and 12 hatcheries start to exist again, and then we'll see some more Gateway or Zealot pressure coming out once again. And yeah, it's a never-shifting meta. Gonna make that probe? Okay, there we go. Boomer coming down. We're gonna get that pylon, probably the pylon scout, I'm assuming, because I think he went Forge Expand last time. Okay, no, that does not block the Nexus. That's so close. That's like, you can't get any closer. In fact, I think... I don't know if you can actually wall here now. I'm pretty sure this won't be Zergling tight, because the Forge will go here. I guess that's tight on the corner. And then the Gateway... Yeah, I guess that's still tight. That's so sketchy. I would have placed this one more up just to be safe, but, like... I think it should work out just fine. Because, yeah, the Forge will go right here. And that should be tight against that wall, which means the Gateway should be tight against that wall. Okay, yeah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. A little sketched out for a minute there, but it's fine. Alright, do you have the overpull back at home from Mutaller? And we are going to see the expand. Is he going to go straight for his third again? Yeah, it looks like Mutaller's not ever going to fight for his natural. He's just going to expand to the third every time. I've gotten really lazy lately. I used to do the same thing. I would just expand to my third if the probe was coming, but these days I always fight for the natural. I want my dang natural. You're not taking it from me. Alright, spawning pool is going to finish up. Should see 2 pairs of Zerglings coming as soon as he has the money for it. If he had built the spawning pool down here, he would have been a little bit more optimized. He probably would have had the minerals out in time, although you do need a mineral boost one of these drones as well to actually afford that. The 2 Zerglings right as it pops. And Boomer is going to do, I think, the correct play here. He's going to go for the... Well, I spoke too soon. I was going to say he's going to go for the Nexus before the cannon, but... he is, in fact, not. We only saw 4 Zerglings popping. You can definitely get away with the Nexus first here. You throw them to the Nexus and you save them and get in the cannon immediately afterwards, and you're fine. Alright, scouting information going pretty well. We are going for a hatch rate on 14. Again, usually you do it on 15 supply, not 14, but that's okay. He's not going to miss a larva for that. Well, if he makes units, there we go. Which is the more important thing. Like, as long as you don't miss a larva, you're okay. You can keep all your larvae spent so you're not sitting on 2 larvae with drones making it and take this on 15. That's usually the preferred, but this is also okay. The Gateway hugs there. And our Nexus is coming down. We got 3 hatches coming from our Zerg. This is just looking like a normal game so far. No one's doing anything too crazy. Do need to take a gas here from Mutaller here pretty quick, unless he's going to go for a gasless expand. Or a gasless, 5 hatch before gas type play. Guess coming down for our Protoss player here. This probe is somehow still alive. Well, I guess all three of our Zerglings are across the map, that's how. It's looking like we might see a 5 hatch before gas, but that's really dangerous to do if you're going to let the probe scout it so easily. Especially against a better player, because they're going to know how to counter that. They're going to know they don't need to get the Stargate. They're going to be able to get their gateways out really quickly and punish you for it. Why don't the larger overlords simply eat the smaller drones? I don't know. Why don't the overlords eat the probes, man? I wish I could just like send my overlord in and just start munching down on probes. Look at that cute little overlord face. Look at it. It's so cute. I love overlords. This is why I hate Protoss players. They kill my overlords. Such a cute unit. Little floating gas bags. Alright, first zealot's about to pop out. Usually you send your either 2 zealots or 3 zealots. I think 3 is more common, but I think some people do 2 zealots. So you should see the zealot kind of hide here. You should be able to drone safely here for the next little bit, but you will have to make Zerglings for too much longer. This probe is still alive, and it's still scouting that there's no gas being taken. So at this point we know it is going to be a 5 hatch before gas, so we can skip our Stargate if we want to. We'll see if Baal goes, or Boomer goes for that, but no, Boomer is going to go for the Stargate. I think this is a misplay. You can still do like a Stargate Zealot timing, but like if you know for sure that they're skipping gas for this long, skip the Stargate, get gateways down quicker, get your quick Citadel. I think that's the more correct answer. That's definitely my preferred response. The Stargate can still have use, but starting our +1 weapons here. We are getting our Citadel down as well. So yeah, Boomer's just going for a normal build. He's not doing anything too crazy. I'm actually not entirely sure what these Sunkens are for. He's got full scouting information. He knows what's going on. This is kind of a waste of drones at the moment. I don't really like that. This hatchery's also, I think, a little too far forward. I would put this 1 more hex back if you're going to use this wall here. That's okay. We're not judgmental. This is not me trying to judge these players. I'm just saying how I would do it so that viewers who are watching that are trying to learn Zerg can maybe get some input from a Zerg player that's decent. I'm okay. There's the Hydra Den. So we're actually going to make like a Protoss wall in here at our natural, which could actually bite us in the butt. A couple of lurkers trying to fit through here. It's going to be really difficult. Hello, Got Quail. Welcome to the stream. Alright, we are going to pick off the first Overlord. I think this is fine. We know that the lair's not even on the way yet, so we have plenty of time to scout after picking this Overlord off. And meantime, our drone count just keeps growing. Even with 3 Sunkens being made, 4 Sunkens being made, we're actually basically even on workers with a Protoss player, which is really scary. The Protoss needs to punish this kind of play where you skip the lair for so long and skip gas for so long, but the Protoss just isn't going to be able to do it. The Hydras are already out. We're going to be able to keep our Overlords protected. This Corsair is really late getting across the map. This is looking really good for Zerg. If you let a Zerg get away with 5 hatch before gas, it can spiral out of control really quickly. Like at this point, we're at our 32 drone count essentially. We'd like to pump 1 more drone out to get this fully saturated. But off these 5 hatcheries, you can make nothing but Hydralisks now, non-stop. And that would be so many Hydras. Like imagine he's got... What do we got? We got 9 Hydralisks plus 5 more on the way. So imagine if 10 Hydras were knocking on your door right now with 5 more rallying across every 20 seconds. Like, that's so many Hydras. The Protoss is just not geared to deal with it yet. Fortunately, he's still making Corsairs, and he's getting the +1 air, so I think he's going to go for that Zealot Corsair timing, but that's actually not really strong in this situation, especially if he's going to take a lot of damage on his Corsairs. We've got to be really careful. Gets both of his Corsairs down to about 60 hull damage. That damage is permanent, and it's going to make this push a little bit weaker when he does do the push out here. To get this hotkeyed. There we go. These Corsair Stars still alive. What do we got going back on base in the Zerg? More Hydralisks are popping, so we are staying at that 31 drone count. And we are just starting our non-stop Hydralisk production. Oops, didn't mean to click on that. And our Protoss, we are up to 4 gates. We are getting a Storm on the way. We are getting our High Templars out to start banking energy. Do we have any out yet? We do have 2 already out banking energy. So the timing is kind of past to bust the Protoss, but we can get a strong contain up. You take your 3rd gas and go into Lurkers, go up to 36 drones. It looks like that's exactly what we're going to do. Wow, clicking on that does it too. Actually, we're going to go up to 40 drones. We're going to keep droning behind that. So it looks like we might want to go into 6 hatcheries from here. Alright, these 3 Corsairs are still on the map trying to see if they can get any damage done, but Yeah, these overlords are just so well protected at this point. World Bay coming up. 5 gateways. We're starting our drone production, so we're basically prepared for lurker tech at this point, which isn't quite on the way, but as soon as the range attack finishes, I'm sure it will be on the way. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get that overlord. Does manage to pull these out without losing any more hull damage, really. I think that went to like 98, so not the end of the world. And looks like we are going to do the lurker follow-up. So if we're going to do that, we need to start moving these hydras across the map and kind of soft contain our Protoss Fred in his base. And then you're not going to take your 6 hatchery because you're mining more gas than you are minerals. You're going to use that extra income to get lurkers and keep a strong lurker contain. This is pretty all-in from our Zerg player if you do go this route. You have to keep making units because you cannot let this contain get busted. But it is a play that you can go for. We're going to lose a Corsair here. I wouldn't mind seeing the Spire go down just to deal with the rest of these Corsairs, and then we can move our Hydras across the map. But you can also just leave 2 or 3 Hydras at both these bases, and then move across the map and get the soft contain in front of our Protoss base here. MCX in chat says the worker count at each base from SC2 is very nice. I disagree. I think having that information, being able to like select your drones and do a quick count, I think that's actually a skill that all these little things that just seem like inconveniences, I think are all important things that make Brood War such a high skill level game. I think that it's an important aspect of the game. Getting our Queen's Nest, we're actually going to go really fast hive here. This is interesting. This is Mutaller's definitely like his style is throwing me off a little bit because he went for the 5 hatch before gas. He didn't do the 5 hatch push out, but he went up to the 46 drones now. He started droning up, so I thought he was going to go for the 5 hatch lurker contain. Then he droned up to enough for 6 hatch, but he didn't go for the 6 hatch. So Mutaller with very much his own style going into this game here. Not in any ways, shape, or form saying that's bad or that his style is wrong or anything like that. Do not mistake me as saying that. This is very much just the way that he enjoys playing it, and it obviously works for him. So it is in no way, shape, or form incorrect way to play the game. Don't misinterpret my words there. I do wish that he'd get these Hydras out across the map. At this point, our Protoss player is getting ready to take a 3rd, which we could have denied forever ago. Even if you're going to go for a 4th base and turtle up, like get a couple of lurkers out here and at least delay the Protoss, and don't force an engage. If they come out and you can't take the fight, just run away, and then you can turtle back up at home. But having at least like even one control group of Hydras. If you just had one control group of Hydras just out on the map roaming around this area, it would force his army to come out. It would delay this command center from coming down. Command center, Nexus. What are words? Words are complicated. Instead, we're playing a turtle style, which is fine. This is a really good map for the turtle style. I would still prefer the turtle style holding the outside of these bridges. Get a couple of lurkers up here, and then the rest of them out here. But this still works. This isn't like a bad way to play. I don't like the turtle style. It's not my style. I prefer to be a lot more aggressive in the mid-game. But this is definitely a style you can play. But even with this style, you want to have at least a group or 2 of Hydras on the map, just roaming around, seeing if you can pick off units here or there, find any kind of damage. The one thing I will agree with on StarCraft 2 is that the removing the Black Fog of War was a good change. There's absolutely zero purpose for it. Any player who plays the game for a long enough period of time will know the maps, so they don't actually care about the Black Fog of War. It just makes it more difficult to play new maps. I think that's one of the few changes that SC2 did right. Other than that, I prefer Brood War in almost every aspect. It's my personal opinion. I'm not insulting anyone who likes StarCraft 2. I'm not saying that StarCraft 2 is a bad game. I just don't like it, and every change that they made I disagree with. How are upgrades looking? We're at 1-1 for our Protoss. We are at going to be 2-0 here pretty soon, yeah. We got the double Evo Chamber. I wouldn't actually mind seeing a 3rd Evo Chamber going up. Spend our money a little bit faster. We did lose an Overlord at some point here. Got a little bit of tickling going on there. We lost a Corsair in that engagement as well. Yeah, Shield Battery is really nice. If you play on Shield Battery, it removes that Black Fog of War, which I do agree with. I think that's a really great change. It doesn't serve any real purpose except making it more annoying to learn new maps. We have our Hive done. We still don't have Defiler Tech on the way. Oh, yeah, we do. It's right there. That's actually really cute. It optimizes the mining for these drones. I'm pretty sure this base is not 100% accurate with 3 drones. Unless you have something like this blocking this. Do we have... Okay, I thought that was a drone. Maybe trying to get over here to this base to take a 5th, but it's not. Wouldn't mind seeing a couple more creep colonies here on the high ground if we're going to go for this turtled style, but 1 sunken up here is still better than nothing. And we do have our first move out from a Protoss player, but trying to break up here is going to be really dangerous. But this lurker line doesn't go too deep. If we storm these lurkers down and pick them off real quickly, we might be able to bust up here real fast. Yeah, NCX with some good advice. If you're learning a new map or playing a new map, you can always take a snippet of the map and put it on your second monitor if you have a second monitor. I personally would just rather not have the Black Fog of War, but that's an option, definitely. Alright, Protoss thinks better about breaking up there. Protoss probably should just take a fourth at this point. He's got control of the middle of the map. He can take his fourth for free. He's not really going to break any of these locations. The bridge here is actually pretty weak. In fact, it looks like he's going to try and force his way across, but this might be a bit of a mistake. His army's kind of trickling in little bit by little bit, so we're going to lose a bunch of units here before any damage is even done to our Zerg army. And yeah, he is going to think better of that and pull across the map. At this point, I think you just try and go for a starving the Zerg out kind of game. You take your fourth base here, you start going into your Reaver Tech, you even maybe expand up to here or up to here. And with that Reaver Tech out, you just hold these bridges, and Darkstorm isn't going to be a good enough answer to get out. Tons of lurkers on the way over here. Looks like we are going to once again try and potentially break up this location, but with 3 Sunkens here now, even with this lurker line not being too deep, it's going to take too long to break up this. You're going to get reinforcements over here in time. No multitasking in the chat talking about map hacks, you naughty person. We're talking about the Black Fog of War, not the overall Fog of War. Alright, see, this is the kind of stuff you need to do if you're going to play a turtle style. Just a small group out here just denying stuff like this. Like, getting the kill on this base, oh my god, is he going to get the actual kill? Okay, we did get the cancel. Ooh. In the meantime, Zerg was sending more units across the map. The Protoss player is actually going to catch it out of position, though. Going to get a lot of free damage here from our Protoss player, but our Zerg should be fine. We still got to... We're actually ahead in supply because Boomer's starting to float a lot of money, but we've got to be really careful not to go across the bridge. Our Zerg player is still in a good position. We don't want to bleed unnecessary units. I mean, if you're talking about this base's mineral line, someone in the chat saying he should storm the middle base mineral line. Yeah, there's nothing really to storm here. But it is a good option for later. In fact, you can put a couple of Dragoons right here, and they can hit these 4 patches. It's something that I actually lost a game during week 2 to chill on this map because I had full control of the middle of the map, and I entirely forgot that you could just position units here and deny mining at this base. So I'm sitting there just throwing units into his base trying to bust it when I could just be denying it more effectively. Okay, we need to get these lurkers burrowed, but these lurkers are pretty much not long for this world at this point. Let's see if they can trade out decently, but it's probably not going to happen. Oh, well, this lurker's not seen. It might get some free pot shots off, get a little bit of hull damage. Oh, if we can get this probe and deny this a little bit longer. Okay, we are sending more army down. Power upgrades. 2-1 versus 2-1. Our Zerglings are at 0-1. Good storm. That's a really good storm. Both of those storms are massive. And we've got so many storms. Like, our Templars have been just banking energy all game and haven't been using storms at all. So we're going to get this 4th down now uncontested. The Zerg player's going to struggle to get a 5th base on the map because he's not controlling the center of the map. He's turtled up on his side of the map. This is like one entrance here and then one entrance here, and then everything behind us is pretty much safe. You can break down this back here and go around the long way, but yeah. Well, we get a free observer. That's pretty nice, but we got enough gas income at the moment for Protoss that one observer's not the end of the world. We're about to mine out of our main and our natural, so getting this 4th base up, it's going to be just in time. Bit of an attack coming over here from our Zerg player. Oh my gosh, he gets one of the Templars for free. All these Templars are basically full energy, so that Templar pickoff was huge. We need to lay down more storms while we can. Okay, there's another storm, another storm. That's mostly on our own army. Another storm going down. We got 1 lurker left. We keep the important units alive, the High Templars. We use pretty much all of our energy, but that's okay. Nope, this Corsair is finding a little bit more damage. Going to get an Overlord over here, which is pretty nice. In the meantime, our Zerg player is still turtled up back at home. We are getting our Plague upgrade on the way now. Starting +3, +1. Got our +2 carapace done already. We're droning up even more. I'm not sure what we're droning up for. This base could use more drones, but we can also just take some drones from this base and this base. We're at 60 drones. So, 60 drones on 5 bases I agree with. I don't know about 4 bases. You're a little bit oversaturated. You're going to mine out quicker, and I don't like it. But again, that's my own personal opinion and personal style. It's not by any means saying that he's wrong for doing that. What are we firing at here? Oh, there's an observer and a Corsair. Alright. Yeah, you do need to be active on the map with some groups of Hydras. I do like this, but oh, well, we stormed our own observer. Observer's going to somehow live. Hydralists are not. That storm was massive. 6 kills on that High Templar. A little bit of an engage going on over here as well. These Hydras are actually trading out pretty well with these Dragoons, but it's now high ground to low ground shooting. We're going to get one more. Maybe get another one if we focus fire the weak one down. No, we're not going to. Okay. 4 Dragoons for 7 Hydras. 8 Hydras is okay. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. We are starting to break down this back stasis cell. There is a bunch stacked here. This isn't just the one. In fact, as you can see, because I got this one clicked, this one's taking splash damage. It's not taking the main damage. Alright, well I can confirm. Hotkeys do work with our hatcheries and stuff, so KilahAce just does not matter. Does not hotkey his hatcheries. Okay, those are all going to fall. Now, if Protoss was paying attention, you would have seen it with the scouting pylon, but that's actually a pretty tough shot to actually scout that. Like, you have to look at that with your own eyeballs. You're not going to see this on the mini-map. But he is pulling some army back, so he might have sniffed this out. In fact, the Observer's heading down here. The Observer's going to see it for sure. So yeah, he definitely did sniff it out. We actually have Arbiter tech from Boomer here. Yeah, Mutaller really needs to take these corners. If he's not going to take the corners, he needs to at least take one and split the map and then just trade super cost effectively. It's a lot more difficult to play that way, but I would at the very least like to see him take both and just mine as much as he can from them. We got a little bit of an attack coming in here from Mutaller, but this is pretty much going to get cleaned up pretty easily. These are 2-1 Zerglings, but we're at plus 3 on our Zealots, so they are still two-shotting these Zerglings. But Cracklings are still pretty good. Unfortunately, most of these Zerglings are dancing around each other. What's the hotkey to... is it Alt-E? Nope, that's the reduction panel. U? Yeah, that's what it is. I gotta remember that. Okay, sorry about that. We're missing a bit of an attack here in the meantime while I was trying to figure that out. We do have Reavers out here and Storm out here, so this isn't going to get much done. We got a lot of probes in the meantime, but this will get cleaned up by our Protoss player. More Hydras are rallying up. These Hydras go straight for these Reavers. These Reavers don't have a supply of... a stockpile of... well, we're just going to lose them all to Storm. I was going to say a stockpile of Scarabs, so we might have been able to get on top of these Reavers and pick them off, but... unfortunately not going to be the case. Moving these Lurkers forward. We're trying to force down this hatchery. I don't know if I agree with this at this point. We're losing so much for so little. Well, we're getting some probes, but again, probes aren't the end of the world. We're at 4 Nexuses. We can re-max on probes pretty quickly. Hydra's going down here. We're reinforcing this position, but now at this point the entire Protoss army is here. I'm really surprised we haven't seen any Defilers out. I know we have the Defiler mount for quite a while. Another attack coming down here. Big Storm went down. They tried to focus down this Arbiter, but the Arbiter does in fact live, unfortunately. Arbiters do have a lot of health. Bunch of macro hatchers going down in the main base. Mutaller's floating a lot of money. I really would like to see Mutaller expand, though. At least take one of these bases if you're not going to take both, but I would realistically take both. Even the Zerg's starting to mine out of his main and natural, so we're on a 2-base versus a 2-base economy again here pretty soon. In fact, the 3rd base mined out before the main and natural, so... that's going to be a 1-base versus a 1-base economy before too long. Boomer moving out in the map just to see if there's any army anywhere, or any base over anywhere. I'm really hoping we're going to see recall from our Zerg player, or our Protoss player here at some point. Recall could be pretty big on this map. Good storms going down, really good storms. But this army is going to get pushed back. Another decent storm. Okay, no, good storms. We're going to lose the Lurker. That's going to get this all cleaned up once again. Honestly, this kind of opens this path up as well for the Protoss to expand here, so that could actually end up being really bad for our Zerg player in the long run. We are getting that Reaver count up. We're up to 3 Reavers here. Do we have any at this base? No, we do not. We haven't been mining here for a while, though. We never retransferred probes over, so... we're also only at 37 probes. We haven't been remaking probes, so this might go really well for Mutaller, where our economy for Boomer could be a lot stronger than it is, but we're not remaking those probes, so... Mutaller with quite a big bank. Boomer is maxed out, but we don't have a bank for Boomer either. And Zerg can trade really efficiently, especially if we start getting that Defiler tech being used. We did have the Defiler researches being finished, so I know that we do have them. I just don't see any Defilers on the map anywhere. Okay, we do have Defilers finally popping out for our Zerg player here. Yeah, once you get Reaver tech out, you really need to get Plague into the game. Plaguing Reavers is just too important. Ooh, this Arbiter's heading out. This might be for a recall. Come on. Almost got the energy for it. He's going to scout with the Observer first. We're going to get a recall on the ZVP. I'm so excited. Alright, this base is mined out. This base is mined out. We've got a little bit left in our main, but not a lot. These positions are unbreakable, so Protoss is never going to get broken at the third, or the kind of natural third here. And our Arbiter's coming in. Let's see which army he decides to recall in. Oh, we just spent all of our larvae too. He's going to get right on top of the tech as well. Oh, he attacked the hive. It's going to give him a little bit of time. Oh, he did the army here. It's got the Reavers and everything in it. I don't know if I agree with that. This is now breakable potentially. Oh, we got some High Templars here. It might be okay. Oh, man. This is going to be so hard to clean up with 4 Reavers here. This hive is going to fall almost instantly. We might cancel the upgrades on this. We're definitely going to lose a lot of tech buildings here. Oh, this is going to be so difficult to clean up. And we don't have overlords up here, so all this army is invisible. There's nothing even being able to attack anything. The Arbiter's still alive. I think this might be a game-ending move here. We're definitely going to get the hive. If we just focus the hive down with the Dragoons while the Reavers do the fighting. Here comes all the overlords. Okay, we need to make sure we at least get this hive. Well, I guess we didn't get any of the other tech buildings, though, but we did get the Spire, so that's something. We weren't remaking Scarabs. This is actually going to get cleaned up, unfortunately. This could have done a lot more. A good storm goes down. Actually, a really good storm. But in the long run, this is going to get cleaned up. We might get the Arbiter out, though. There was an attack over here in the meantime, but it's got cleaned up. There was a lot of storm and a lot of other... and the Reavers over here, so this wasn't going to really do much. Probe count doesn't look like it fell either. So this gets cleaned up. Both players kind of attacking each other and getting cleaned up. This hive has 80 HP left over. Yeah, Mutaller talking about the attack on the 4th. I'm sorry I didn't actually catch that on camera. I saw it was going down, but I was more worried about this to see if the hive fell. I knew that was going to get cleaned up pretty easily because he had storms on the high ground with the cannons and everything. So... take a scout and go kill the hive. Even a scout would take like 20 hours to kill this hive, man. Alright, we're getting a little bit of an attack built up down here. This is just overlords. This is looking really bad. It's 170 supply to 114. Mutaller is mining on 1 base. He's on 1 base economy. He technically has some minerals up here, but he's only just now transferring drones back there. Yeah, Mutaller really needed to take at least one of these corner bases a lot earlier. It looks like he's getting ready to take this one, which is probably the easier of the two to take. Because you can secure this location and secure this location, and you can sandwich down to the army if they come down here. Plus it gives you a bit of an attack into the back door, but that is also a risk. The Protoss can come out this way to attack you, so... well, we're just continuing to make units. Oh my gosh, we're getting the Reaver capacity upgrade. Well, picking up some free overlords, but honestly, at this point, we don't really have the ability to remax anyways, so losing the supply isn't the end of the world here. Yeah, there's the drone, so we are getting ready to try to expand down here. We should be at our 3-3 now. Oh, almost at 3-3. We'll be at 3-3-3 for our Zerg player and 3-3. Do we have shield upgrades? We do. We have 3-2-3 for our Protoss player. And we are re-expanding here. This base is getting pretty low. This base is still pretty healthy, so... but Zerg just doesn't have much of an army. And the supplies are even more worse than they look, because it's only 36 probes to 55 drones, so... there's a difference of an extra 20 on there, so it's almost as if the Protoss was maxed out on supply as far as the army is concerned. Bit of a Zergling attack in here, but throwing away these Zerglings is probably not the right decision. Even our turtled location isn't turtled anymore. Sending more Zerglings in down here. These will get cleaned up by storming the cannons, yeah. And we can definitely break this location. We have enough units here to do it now. There's only sunken from the high ground. Or we can come down here and cancel this location. We are aware of it. There was an observer down here earlier that was watching it. Is they're coming in from behind. Going to try and clean this up if they can. But I think there's just too much Protoss here. It is mostly Dragoons, and for some reason none of them are attacking anything. All of these Dragoons were glitched. None of them were actually attacking. Well, we do have a lot of lurkers here, but they're mostly on the low ground. We were getting a surround coming in from our main as well, so this is going to get cleaned up and get cancelled. Oh, this is just looking worse and worse for Mutaller. Here's another huge Ling stream coming down, but the Zerglings aren't going to be able to clean this up. We should still have some storms left over here somewhere. Yeah, we've got a 250 energy here. We haven't expanded up there yet. Those are just units. Yeah, this is really dire for Mutaller. We're about to mine out of our last mining base. This is it. This is all the minerals that Mutaller has left on the map. He's got like 20 here. 236. All right, close enough. Mutaller's almost mined out. Protoss, this is still a pretty healthy base. It got denied for so long that it's actually in a pretty decent health. So Mutaller really needs to make something happen on the map somewhere. In fact, this is now secured that if Protoss wants to expand here, they could pretty easily. Bunch of lurkers coming. We do have a lot of a lot of gas. We're not mining gas here. We are mining gas here. Is this depleted? This is depleted. This should be depleted as well. So we're only on depleted gas except for this Vespane. We're gonna come here and clean these zealots out. So that's something, but I still don't see a drone coming over here. We need to take this base now. Oh, there's the drone. Okay, it was already here. All right, we are going for this kind of lurker onto the high ground thing, but yeah, it needs to be here in order to hit these ones. We do have a lot of lurkers, but we also have a lot of storm and a lot of dragoons. And we don't have defilers out anymore. I mean, even a dark swarm push at this point wouldn't do anything. We got reavers, we got high templars. There's no reavers down here yet, but we also have recall. We could recall our reavers over here if we needed to. Yeah, with this one cannon here is kind of denying this, shutting down the mining of this base. Okay, we are finally taking this base up here. It's a 27-minute game so far. Oh. Well, we had a bit of an attempted lurker drop. One of them's going to get back here and get buried, but it's going to get cleaned off before it does anything. Gets one spine off, not the end of the world. We even have the Scarab damage upgrade for our Protoss player here. What are we getting stasis for? What? What? Why are we getting stasis? You're playing against Zerg. Zerg doesn't have a single unit you can stasis. There's literally not one single unit that you can stasis from Zerg. We need to transfer these drones over here desperately. And like now. Oh, sending from... Oh. Excuse me, sorry about that. Sending our drones from our main at least, so we are getting some drones over here, but they didn't get clicked onto the minerals. They got clicked onto the side. They're not mineral walking. Okay, now they are. We really need to get some more defilers. That is what we really need here. I don't even know that Plague and Dark Swarm can make a difference anymore, but if anything can, it's that. We're going to be basically on one base economy versus two base economy. We didn't trade efficiently enough early on, so Protoss has the advantage on economy overall, plus supply is already advantaged for Protoss. Biological can't be stasised. No, you can stasis biological units, but like... What are you gonna stasis? Zerlings? And maybe some lurkers, but like... Not the end of the world, whatever. Just keep the lurkers alive and then they'll burst things down after they come back out of stasis. It's... I don't know. I don't like stasis against Zerg. Why would you... I don't know why you would do it. Do stasis OV still detect? No. But why do you need detection? I mean, that's actually fair. You could stasis the drones. That would be a cute play. That's something that I've actually done before in a PvP, where I had an Arbiter out, and it was like a one base versus one base economy, and we were both almost dead. And I just stasis all his drones to stop, or his probes to stop all his mining. But like, that's such a niched thing that like, it's not going to always be good. Oh, we're going to get a pick off an observer. At least it's something. Another attempted lurker drop over here. There's not even any probes over here, and there's plenty of defense over here, so this is just wasted lurkers at this point. We're rebuilding our spire, finally. I would say Greater Spire is an option, but at this point we've got so much Storm banked up that I don't know that even Greater Spire can really do much. Maybe camp them out over here and try and pick off the... This just isn't a great map for it. You could pack them over here, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how Zerg comes back in this. This is looking really bad for Zerg. Mutaller obviously thinks that he has some sort of a chance. He hasn't given up yet, but... It's such an uphill battle at this point that I just don't even know. Oh my gosh, how many gateways is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 gateways? Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, yeah. There's nothing on the production tab for either one of our players. This is a 30-minute game. Both players are worn out. Neither one of them is, like, not sure how to end the game at this point. They're just both turtling up. Well, looks like we're going to have some recalls going out. These recalls going to the main base again. That could be the end of it. Math DTs with stasis overlords. Ugh. Man, I don't know why I'm suddenly yawning so much. I apologize, chat. I don't know. I don't think that's good still. I mean, a stasis like right here, pretty decent. But we're just gonna double recall. That's gonna bust this base. There's no way this base holds. Zerg just doesn't have enough left anymore. This army is enough to kill everything that Zerg has. Even if we just throw this into the lurkers and the sunkens, we don't even fight with the reavers. Like, this is still just a broken base. Oh my gosh, that storm kills so many drones. Which High Templar was that? 14 kills, 18 kills, 20 kills? Oh man, 24 kills. I think this is it. This is the dying gasps of Mutaller, guys. It was a valiant effort for sure, but it just wasn't quite enough. This is a difficult map. I don't like this map as a Zerg player. I really hate this map. I think I lost all of my games on this map this week. Spoilers in case someone does cast it, but you know, oh well. It's 60 supply to 185. I'm surprised. I think Mutaller's just digesting his loss at this point. This is like definitely one of those heartbreaking losses. It's such a long game to just feel like it's just falling apart like this right at the end. Psystorm is a pretty good unit. Oh my gosh, we actually have the stasis. Oh. But Mutaller's gonna GG. He's gonna leave the game before the stasis comes out. But we saw it. Stasis against a Protoss or a Zerg player. You don't see that every single day. That's pretty unique. Alrighty. Go ahead and get our next game prepped, and then I'm going to take a short break before our last two games. That was a longer one than I expected, so I need to go get another drink and some stuff. Alright, it's going to be versus... Bop and bop. Alright, well, GG's. I will see you guys here in about 4 to 5 minutes. I'm going to go get another drink. Go ahead and get yourself a drink, get yourself some snackies, and we'll be back in 5 minutes or so. There we go. Alright, and we are back. Made you guys wait a little bit longer than I expected, so let's just hop right into our next game. It's going to be Mutaller versus Launch, I believe. Yeah. Alrighty. And in the top left, we have our red Zerg. It is Mutaller. The bottom right, we have our blue Terran. It is iRk-Launch. ZVT, one of the premier matchups that made Brood War so successful. We'll have to see what both players want to bring. I actually, I do think Mutaller is a Muta player, so I don't think we're going to see a really weird game like our KilahAce game, but you never know. I actually don't know what Launch is going to do. Last time he did kind of a weird 1-1-1 kind of play, so maybe he'll bring something like that out again, or might see something different from him this time. We'll have to see what the games bring. A little bit of miscontrol with that drone, that's okay. It's really frustrating when that happens, but try not to get tilted by it and you'll be okay. Alright, Scouting Overlord is going out, so really quick SCV, probably going to see a wall in here. Not seeing the 8 racks, which has been so popular lately, but we don't know if Mutaller's going to go for the 12 pull or the, the 12 hatch or the overpull. Got ourselves some Terran music. No, Zerg music. This is Zerg music. What am I apparently did not get enough sleep last night. I don't know. I have been so off with my calls. Alright, looks like we are going to go for the 12 hatch from Mutaller. Barrack should go down here from Launch. No gas being taken quite yet. And then I personally like to scout with this drone, so send these two to mine and scout with this drone, but we'll see if Mutaller does the same. This drone should get over there if they're not doing a wall in, just in time to see if the gas is taken or not. So there is our 12 hatchery. We'll see if we'll see a 12, 11, 10, or if we're going to go for a 3 hatch or some other variant. Scouting SCV going out. Yeah, one way you can kill Zerg really easily is just by killing their tech. You send the Zerg back to the Stone Age and all they have is Zerglings, and if you kill the spawning pool and it takes another, what is it, 90 seconds to build a spawning pool? Something like that. It's pretty devastating. Alright, so I think that was a 12-12-12 out of our Zerg, which is a pretty, it's basically like a greedy version of the 12-11-10. Since it's not an 8 rack, he'll be perfectly fine. Oh, might get the block on this drone. This drone needs to just power through. Don't worry about this SCV. Get in there and see if there's gas. Although then you risk losing the drone because then the wall gets put in behind you, but at the very least you need to confirm the command center. He's not seeing the barracks blinking, so he needs to be wondering what's going on. But he's just going to run away. He will have the Overlord here pretty soon, though, so that's actually okay. Still not seeing the... Okay, now we're seeing this blinking. He's got to get in here and confirm the command center. He does confirm the command center. Now he can pull this Overlord back to the high ground. He knows exactly what's going on. There can't be a gas with this command center timing, so he should be perfectly aware of exactly what's happening in this game. So it should be like a 2.5 hatch here going down. We'll see the lair pop up, and then not too long after that we'll see a third hatchery. Probably in the main. You can take it outside of the main, but with this build it's usually a 2.5 hatch. Lair in the natural? Yeah, lair's in the natural. Okay. We'll see if he wants to go speed before his hatchery. Looking like he's probably going to want to. Usually with that optimization, you pull a drone or two off of gas and then get your hatchery down and then go back in for speed. So we'll probably go speed. Okay, we are getting our gas back at home for our Terran, but we are looking like it's going to be a normal 2 racks play. We'll see if he goes for faster engineering bay or for a faster academy here. Still no Zergling speed. Did get ourselves a supply block there a little bit, but that's okay. There's the academy. Yeah, the engineering bay probably would have gone down before the barracks if it was going to be the engineering bay, but I am definitely not the most go-to at calling Terran builds. Terran is definitely my weakest race by far. Okay, Zergling speed has started. Lair's finished up. We want to start our Spire. And then are we going to start a third hatch in main, or are we going to start that at our third base location? These corner bases are actually easier to hold instead of this, but you can hold this with lurkers at the ramp if you really want to. Or the bridges, excuse me. Where's this drone going? Looks like we are going to span to this top right. Or are we going to take a hidden base? Are we taking this base? We're taking this base. No, we're not. This drone just doesn't know where it's going. Alright, creep colony's coming down. You could probably delay these a little bit longer. The 2 Racks Academy push comes out at about 5 minutes. Should be to your base at like 5:15 to 5:30, depending on if they stim across or not. But that's okay. Getting these early to be safe is not a bad thing at all. It's just a slight optimization that you can do to save a bit more drones, get a little bit more mineral income. He's not going to be able to pop 6 mutas when the Spire finishes now because of this. That's just the main difference there. But he's also not going to die because he'll have the Sunkens, so... Alright. There's our second medic, and here comes the push out. What's this, 9 Marines? Yeah, he's got an extra Marine because of the faster expand. Scan's going down, it's probably scanning the natural. Yep, scans the natural. Does see the Spire because the Spire's in the natural. And you can see the cost of the Sunkens and the creeps make it to where you couldn't quite make all 6 mutas in the upgrade at once. This push out's actually a little bit late as well. He's scouting around for that 3rd base. He can't break the natural, so he wants to try and break the 3rd and cancel the 3rd base, but he's not seeing where the 3rd base is placed. And realistically, as a Terran player, you should be suspecting this base, because this is just such a strong position. It's a ramp. It's a wide ramp, but it's still a ramp to hold. So... Alright, turrets are coming up from our Terran player. I don't know if I like these turrets. You can hit the mineral line pretty easily and only take 1 to 2 shots from these turrets with how far back they are. I wouldn't mind seeing them a little bit more here. You don't usually want to put them behind the mineral line because then the mutas can just focus them down. It takes too long for SCVs to get there, so you want them close to the mineral line. That's a little bit better. And with this one, that should be okay, actually. It'll take a lot more shots now to kill an SCV there. Our main's going to need more turrets at some point here. First mutas are across the map. It's only 4. We're going to get 1 SCV, but we're going to take quite a bit of damage on our mutas for that 1 SCV. This muta almost dead, in fact. Alright, we're going up to 8. So we're mutaing. What would the plural of muta be? I guess it would just be Mutalisk because it's singular and plural, but... Alright, going down for the missile turret here. This is actually really risky because these SCVs can get on top of it. There's not enough mutas here to pick that off quickly. We're going to lose a muta for a turret. Not the best trade. Ooh, do we see this SCV? That'd be a free SCV if we can find it. Don't quite see it, unfortunately, but that's okay. This base is now up. Are we starting our Hydra Den back at home? We are not, so we're staying on the Mutatech for now. We're going to just force mutas and try and keep the Terran back at home with just the Mutalisks. So this is a free supply depot. I've seen a lot of pros recently where they make the wall in to put 1 turret here just to help defend these supply depots so they're not lost for free. I do like that. Keep in mind, bunkers also give Marines an extra range. We're going to finally scout this 3rd base location. There was a scan that went down. It's in the natural. Pulling out the injured Mutalisks. We've got 7 Mutalisks here with 4 more on the way. So we are at a max group of Mutalisks now. We are starting to get into our Stargate technology. Starport. We're going to get that SCV. Take a decent amount of damage. Good swiping on those Marines here. Got to be really careful. We're starting to take a lot of damage on these Marines. Got to use hold position in these situations as well. This SCV actually lives when the Sunken was beaten on it. Yeah, this mineral line is so abusable. You fly into this mineral line, this is all free. You just tuck your mutas down into this corner here, and like, how are the Marines going to get here? How are the Marines ever going to get here? Going up to 5 Raxes, I believe. No, that's the 2nd starport. So 4 Raxes with the 2nd starport on the way. You're just flying in. We're going to get another SCV, get another delay on the supply depot, and we're going to finally see... Oh my gosh, that medic lived. Oh man, losing so many mutas for that, though. Alright, back at home, what do we got going on? We do have our Hydra Den down with Lurker upgrade on the way. Should have Hydralisk popping out here before too much longer. We got enough gas banked up as well to start going to that, so we're going to see the transition into Hive Tech. It's going to be difficult for Zerg to get a 4th gas on this base. He can try to go for this gas. Another... Oops, wrong one. Alright, seeing in the main, we do see the Hydralisk Den. Keep in mind that our lair is in the natural, which is why most of our scans have been going into the natural to see if we are going into Hive Tech yet or not. Back up to 9 Mutalisks. The one thing that our Zerg has going for us is our barracks are really delayed, so we're at a really low barracks count. So these mutas have been able to actually... Oh, okay, there we go. We're starting to get some Marines here. An okay trade. The Marines, unfortunately, basically focused all on the damage on one of the Mutalisks, so they did manage to pick one off. We're going into Valkyries behind this, so not into Science Facility, we're going into Valks. There's an armory here somewhere. Somewhere. Oh, well, this is more important. Get one volley down on these mutas. Oh, that Valkyrie lives with 8 HP. Gonna get picked off, but we lose 3 mutas for it and take a lot of damage on these Mutalisks. We do have lurkers on the way back at home, though, so not the end of the world. Get a medic. That's pretty good. Marine as well. You want 2 to 3 Valkyries as you're pushing out across the map. The fact that there's no Valks here is really scary, but the mutas are also pretty injured, and there's only 8 of them, so... These Marines are actually pretty fine, but these aren't going to be able to find any damage. We've got 10 Mutalisks at home. We've got Lurkers finished up. We have 1 Lurker here. He might be able to bust this location if he's really quick about it. And keep in mind, because we went for the Valkyries, we don't have mobile detection, so we're relying on scans. The scan actually does see this Lurker, so that's really big. He's going to scan this base as well and see that there's at least 1 Lurker there. Could be more, because it could be stacked. I wouldn't mind seeing him go over to this base and just sending 1 Marine up to see how many Lurkers are stacked there. Mutas once again kind of coming out a little bit here. These medics are just running off on their own. Ooh, this could be really bad. Oh man, those Mutalisks are starting to evaporate. So a lot of injured Mutalisks. They could have taken a lot more damage. Fortunately, they weren't super stacked, but our Terran is now going to take a 3rd base behind all this pressure. He can't really come in and break this location. With a scan and a good surround of those Lurkers, he probably could, but... Getting a couple more missile turrets down. Do we have some in this mineral line? This mineral line is still so exposed. Scanning to see if there's a 4th up, but we don't see a 4th there. Obviously, as observers, we see there is no 4th. Alright, this is now reinforced 4 Lurkers. That's not breakable. This is still breakable. If he comes across the bridge here and gets a really big concave, he sees it's only 2 Lurkers there. But he sees that there's more back at home. So realistically, he can't actually break the natural, so... But killing off these 2 Lurkers would still be nice if he could. Ooh, gotta be careful with these mutas. We've taken them out of a control group with the Overlord, though, so they're no longer stacking up, which is going to make it a little bit easier to fight these Valkyries, but... Coming in here. Gonna get a delay on this, at least. Ooh, doesn't quite get the SCV. We are turning to get the Valkyries. I don't think he's going to get a single one. Oh no, all the mutas are going to fall. Oh, 2 mutas are going to barely make it out, and these Valkyries, 1 at 15 HP, the other one basically full health. We did not delay the command center, unfortunately, either. Yeah, the Valks are on +1. If you're going for this Valkyrie push out, you always get +1 on these Valks. If you're going to stay on Mutalisks also, you want to get Carapace on them if they're going into the Valk build. Obviously, you've already started the +1, but if you're going to stay on them, you want to get a Carapace upgrade on top of that. But we're not staying on it. We're up Hive Tech now. We are getting our Defiler Mound down. There's our Hive. Getting some Scourge out. We should start Science Vessel production here, now. Do we have the... Yes, we do have the facility out. Ooh, might be able to catch these Lurkers out in the middle of the map. Oh, doesn't see it. He walked right past it. They were in vision, but he didn't notice. Is there anything in this bunker? There's nothing in this bunker. This is going to be really good. We're going to get a delay on getting mining on this base. Might even force it to float. Not the end of the world. The Zerg or the Terran can clean this up pretty quickly, but still, anytime you're delaying this is good. Does force these Lurkers back. He's got to be really careful. There's not a lot of Marines here, but we do have siege tanks. So he will be able to clean this out. Gotta wait for these vessels. Are they out already? Yeah, we do have the vessels out, so we should be able to clean this up. Terran positioning like he wants to try and break this position, but this position's not very easily broken. There's 4 Lurkers there. There's a lot of static buildings. We are starting to irradiate down the first Lurkers. Oh, that's big spines. Gonna clean this whole army up. Honestly, he needs to turn this Marine down to get these Zerglings off this tank. This tank needs to be kept alive. Okay, this is gonna get cleaned up. Yeah, just run with these Lurkers now. Oh, I wouldn't even bury them. I would just run all the way home. Gets a really good connection on those spines there, though. That actually ended up being a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Meanwhile, back at our Zerg's Natural, we have been irradiating these Lurkers, but we are back up to 6. We got quite a bit of gas built up. We can keep remaking Hydras and remaking the Lurkers. And looks like we're going to unburrow everything here and try to move out, but there's a bit of a static army here just waiting. Does Mutaller notice? He does notice and burrow. Launch pulls back just before losing everything, but does still lose a lot of the Marines there. In fact, ends up losing all of them, unfortunately. But we're still contained 3 base to 3 base. This is still not mining, though, so it's actually 3 base to 2 base at the moment. We got siege mode, we got siege tanks. Trying to go for a flank here. Looks like we're going to try and break out a little bit wider here. Launch has definitely got to pull back here. Got to be extra careful. We do have enough energy for 4 irradiates. Ooh, the Scourge coming forward, though. Scourge are going to make a connection that's almost 1. Okay, 1 does go down. Unfortunately, 4 Scourge for 1 vessel. Getting more irradiates going down. We've got a lot of Lurkers here, but the vessel count hasn't really been reduced by much. We've killed 1 vessel. We should have more back home somewhere, right? No, we have stopped. Oh, we're making siege tanks instead of vessels. I don't know if I agree with that. We know that we're on Hive Tech already. We've scanned it. Maybe he didn't scan the Defiler mount and thinks that this Defiler Tech is not out yet. But I don't know. It's kind of risky. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to press that button. A bunch of scans going down. Terran's just looking to see if Zerg's on a 4th, and Zerg is not on a 4th. Do we have Defilers out at any of these bases? Wouldn't mind seeing a Nidus go down here at the very least. Zerg once again pushing out with a large Zergling and Lurker army. No Defiler support for this army, though, so he's got to be really careful. There's no way that Zerg can cross this bridge. The Zerg goes for it, he's going to lose all these Lurkers. Hey, what are our upgrades? 2-1? 2 Carapace. Okay, so we're actually doing really good on our Carapace upgrades. I was wondering how that Lurker survived for so long. Mutaller's been really on top of his production on his upgrades. We are getting 6 Defilers coming out at once now, so Mutaller realizing that he needs to get that Defiler tech up and running now. And looks like we are setting up to take a 4th base finally. A little bit picked off here. Looks like we might try and run around this long way, but I don't think you can break this location anymore without Defilers. Getting some free Marines and medics. And we are going to try and push down here. Going to get a big burrow, but yeah, I think you need to pull back. You can't break this position. Even with the Ling support, I don't think this is breakable. Looks like he's going to just dive right for the mineral line and try and get some SCV kills, but we just pull the SCVs away, and now we're going to lose all these Lurkers for free. Well, we might get both these siege tanks. Just barely doesn't get the second one. We do get one. We get a lift. So this is okay damage. We're delaying mining from the Terran, but Terran's got a bit of a bank as well. Back at home, we got a bunch of Defilers coming up. We're slowly clearing these out. Honestly, I'd clear them with the siege tanks. Don't waste the energy, yeah. A ton of more Lings flooding out into the map, but we really need Defiler support with them. We're about to get into Ultralists. We got quite a big bank built up for Ultralist transition as well, but we need to make some Overlords. So much flame? Not sure what that means, KilahAce. Alright, more siege tanks being made. Now we're getting back into vessel production. We are on 3 gas now, so we can do the 2 Stargate plus 1 factory if we need to at this point. A bunch of Defilers are out. Are we just talking about all the burning buildings? Oh, the gas might burn down, actually. We are repairing the comm stat. Alright, pushing forward here. What are our upgrades now? 2-1 versus 2-1 still. So Zerg doing a fantastic job on his upgrades. Do we have any upgrades on the Lurkers? No. I do like the idea of getting just 1 upgrade on the Subterranean Spikes. That way we can get rid of the... oh, massive Plague! Oh my gosh, that Plague is huge! Plague! Ooh. Got every single vessel, got both of the Valkyries, got almost the entire Bio army. But we're getting almost all of our Defilers irradiated. Looking like we're wanting to switch into Hydra Lurker Defiler, maybe? Because we're starting to make some more Hydras. But we might just be pushing these forward to pick off some of these vessels. In fact, we could get all these vessels right now. That was a dream plague. All of these medics are wasting their energy as well. And the first ultras are, in fact, out. In the meantime, we had a bit of a counterattack going on over here. There's more Defilers here than there was army. Another plague goes down, gets it on the command center and some of the SCVs, but ooh, a couple of the tanks as well. Some pretty juicy plagues going down. And this lurker's unkillable. Well, he's got to be really careful. Yeah, because this still takes splash damage if there's a unit on top of it. All right, getting more radiates going down on these these ultras as they're coming across the map. That's really good. This command center will not go into burning. It takes 3 plagues to get a command center into burning. Or I guess 2 could probably do it, but I don't know what the actual threshold for taking burning damage is. Alright. These ultras and lings coming in. Getting on top of the SCVs and the Marines, but I think there's enough here to clean this up. Well, actually I forgot that their upgrades are actually pretty even. And this is so many ultralists, holy crap. More and more just keep pouring in. Where's the rest of the Bioforce? Bunch more coming up here. We got a huge supply lead for a launch, but I just don't know where it all is at the moment. Alright. Okay, so yeah, 2 plagues could get this to burning. Okay, we are going to clean this up. That was a lot of ultralists to get thrown away. Most of these vessels are still pretty injured. Yeah, Zerg really needs to take a 4th at the moment. While he's doing this kind of pressure, he should be expanding here and probably here at the same time. Alright, we are at 3-2 for our Terran finally. Still only at 2-1 for our Zerg, but we do have 3-2 on the way for our Zerg player. And here comes the Wiggly Boys. Decent plague. Dark Swarm goes down. Do we have another plague here? We do not. We have one more Dark Swarm, though. We have one more on one of these. This one here. Oh, no. Is he not going to notice it? He's not going to notice it. Not going to hit that last Dark Swarm off. That's unfortunate. These Defilers have been pretty good. Mutaller really needs a 4th gas, though. His main's going to be mined out if it's not already, and his natural's not too far behind it. Yeah. So we're basically on 1.5 gas at the moment for Mutaller. So we really desperately need to get at least another gas up, if not 2. Another little bit of a Zergling run by. Oh, he right-clicked on the command center. Cracklings do a ton of damage. Forces the lift. Gonna kill some more SCVs here as well, but it's 56 to 35, so Terran's actually doing okay on the SCV count. Get the irradiate on the lurker. Oh my gosh, I can't believe none of these medics have died yet. Alright, we are finally getting our 4th base up for Mutaller here. We didn't just force the command center to lift, we actually moved it on accident, so this is going to be a while before this lands again. Buildings move so slow in Brood War. Alright, more and more Lings coming out. We do have some more Wiggly Boys coming out as well. It's going to be really important. A pure Ling army can't fight a pure Marine army. I mean, if we catch them in the middle like this where they're all that spread out, you can actually do pretty decently on the trade, but another Ling counterattack coming in. But getting caught in the middle of the map, we do have one Wiggly Boy. Need to get these swarms down at the very least. Okay, there's one swarm, so now we can kind of hold this position, stop the turn from advancing for a little bit. Ooh, flying right into the mutas. Somehow this vessel's gonna live. Bunch more SCVs pulled back, gonna force this command center away again. And Mutaller doing a really good job of just putting pressure all over the map. We have cleared out the army in the center of the map, though. And there's not a lot at home for the Zerg players, so the Zerg gotta be really careful. Trying to force down some more SCVs, but again, the SCV count isn't the end of the world. We're only on one mining base, and once we re-land this with 49 SCVs, because our main and our natural are mined out for our Terran player. So our Terran right now is on 0 economy. He needs to, yeah, he needs to kill this base. This base has to fall. We can't let the Zerg get another gas at the moment. Okay, that's not an expansion going up. That's just some Zerglings down there. Another small counterattack over there. Didn't really do much. Larvae have so much armor. And then, yeah, we can't lose this army. Oh, no. Get the medics back, too. So many medics? How many medics is that? It's 12 medics. We're gonna lose some. Alright, we are finally mining again as our Terran player. We've got to be really careful. Oh no, these Marines are on move command. We're going to lose at least one vessel. Okay, only lose one. That could have been a lot worse. But still, we're only on 4 vessels. Our vessel count is extremely low this turn. We really need to up that vessel count. And our Zerg needs to re-expand and get another gas. We're about to be mined out of this gas before too much longer as well. Yeah, it's gone too. So our gas is... Our Zerg isn't even on 1 full gas at the moment. Our Zerg has 3 depleted geysers. Alright, Terran is once again mining. We do have a pretty mobile army out on the map. There's not too much they can safely do, though, at the moment. Starting to get that vessel count back up. We're at 6 again. I would like to see that go up to like 8 or 10. Small little marine medic force over here to stop these Zergling counterattacks as best he can. Fortunately, that SCV is going to see this coming. First 2 marines are going to fall because there's no medic support with them, but these Lings aren't going to get very good surface area on these last 2, so these 2 marines can clean this up on their own pretty much. Zerg still has not expanded. Zerg really needs to double expand. He needs to get 2 more gases. He has no gas income. Look at the 2,000 minerals, 76 gas. Look at how slow the gas is going up. We're trying to break down the back and get into the main base of a Terran player, but I honestly think even if you get on top of the production right now, I don't think it's going to be enough. Man, Launch's SimCity is all over the place. He's got barracks everywhere. Alright, these are going to fall, so we are going to have the counterattack going into the main, but in the meantime, Terran's starting to push down your front. We have 1 lurker here. Oh, 2 lurkers. This is looking really, really bad. We might even lose this base up here, and then we're out of minerals, because this is going to mine out pretty soon. There's nothing here to defend this base at all. We have 1 lurker in the mineral land. It's unburied. There's still siege tanks left over, but this should fall pretty quickly. No upgrades with 3-3 versus 3-3 Zerglings. This is going to force Launch to come back. He does have to deal with this at the very least. But he should be able to clean this up without too much of an issue. The question is how much is he going to lose in the meantime. Yeah, you got to float these barracks. We don't want to lose any of the production facilities if we can help it. Now we get the master radiates going down so that there's only Zerglings left over. And this is doing really good to buy Mutaller time. But Mutaller's not really doing much with that time. He really needs to take another gas. And he needs to take that gas like 10 minutes ago. Losing more and more of the base here as our Terran player. That's not enough. You gotta send more, but okay. That might be enough. There's still another lurker in here. How's it not irradiated? There's 2 lurkers that aren't irradiated. Oh, man. Well, the good news is Terran can start over and redo his SimCity. The bad news is we're at 98 of 112 supply, and we have no buildings landed. Another counterattack and deny this 4th base up here. These Zerglings are definitely going to kill these Marines this time. And there is nothing here to defend this 4th base, or this 3rd base. Ooh, we could eraser trick our own science vessels, though, and maybe deal with the Zerglings that way, but how much is going to fall in the meantime? Suddenly it's looking like Mutaller with almost no gas income might be winning this game. Oh, come on, eraser trick your vessels and float them over the Zerglings. It's actually really effective. We are going to clean this up, but that was a ton of damage. 16 SCVs is all that we have left now. But we're still only on 2/3 of a gas. Well, I guess 3/4 of a gas. Barracks are re-landed, though, so we're going to start being able to produce units once again. Did we lose? We lost our starports, but that's okay. We have quite a healthy vessel count, and there's not enough gas from the Zerg for the Zerg to get defilers and mutas and all that kind of stuff. We are finally trying to take a double expand out of Mutaller here. And this back door open, we've got to be really careful as Launch. I wouldn't mind just leaving like a couple of medics and fire bats just right here, just AFK. A little medic wall of fire bats behind it. Oh, getting the triple expand out of Mutaller, in fact. Yeah, this should get cleaned up. Zergling's going up a single file, getting a little blocked up by the SCV as well, so that's good. That's a good hold from Launch. And Launch is starting to get a pretty sizable Marine and Fire Bat count again. He needs to get out onto the map, and he needs to start doing some damage and denying some of these bases. The problem is he doesn't have enough of a Marine and Med account to like leave half of it back home and safely move out of the map, and that's kind of where he's struggling. Is Mutaller is pretty much consistent, non-stop. Oh my gosh, we're gonna see the Queen. Oh, infested command center. He might be able to get this one too. You better land that and make infested Terrans. All right. This should get cleaned up pretty effectively. With these ultras falling, I think this is the time that Mutaller moves across the map. He needs to go now. He needs to not let any of these bases go up. Did he irradiate an Overlord? He did. Alright, one of these bases is finally up. The other two are going to finish up before too much longer as well. We need to desperately take this gas almost instantly. Our drone and SCV counter is looking pretty dire from both players, but losing this fourth base, we're basically on one mining base. It's going to be a while before Mutaller has a real strong economy again. He's got to either resecure this location or deny the bases, and I think denying the bases is really important here. Sends out a scouting spire back, going to know that there is a base here now. Still isn't quite mining the gas yet, though, so there's a small window of opportunity here. And no, the command center, the infested command center. Oh. It lives! The infested command center lives. Alright, small counterattack over here. The medics kind of left the Marines, though, so they're going to get good surface area of these lings and clean this up. But here comes the big push out in the big army. Keep in mind, we don't have much gas, so there's almost no lurkers left. We do have a couple of Wiggly Boys coming out finally, but we've only got like 5 lurkers left in the entire game. Alright, getting some static defense here. At the very least, we need to deny this base and this base. We can't let the Zerg get that much gas. Zerg still hasn't taken this gas. We need to expand behind this as well if we can. Ooh, coming forward, getting a... that's big. We have such low gas. Getting irradiates on 2 defilers before they even get a Dark Swarm down. Barely gets one down in time before it dies. That's huge. That's massive. We really need to take this gas, though. Alright, here comes the attack. This will get cleaned out. We have made drones here. I don't know that Terran knows that that base is there. I don't know that Terran would even expect that he would take it. We're mostly shooting at larva, unfortunately, at the moment, but... we are getting bunkers here. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple bunkers coming up here so we can start getting ready to expand there. Right, there was a scan that went down, just scanned this base. Do have a lurker there. Oh, yep, gotta be careful with move commanding your army, but we are going to get those lings cleaned up. And we are finally taking this gas. So we're going to finally be on 2 gases again before too much longer here. Alright, we need to load a couple of these in here. You want to at least put a Marine in the bunker with the fire bats so that if the Zerglings just run past, the Marine will pull them back. Because if the Marines are, or the Zerglings are in the mineral line just beating on SCVs, the bunker's not firing on them, they're never going to naturally go down that way. Alright, this should get cleaned up pretty easily. I don't think they'll even break the bunker. Yeah. I really need this gas as well. I think it's time for Terran to push up here and resecure this location again. We can float this command center over there if we need to. This base is almost mined out. Zerg's basically on no economy. Terran's also basically on no economy. But Terran has a ton of science vessels. We've still got 10 science vessels out on the map. Maybe a couple more somewhere hidden. No, just the 10, but still, that's so much. We're going to get another irradiate on one of the Wiggly Boys. Oh my gosh, this vessel's going to make it out with 4 HP. We're going to get a drone for his trouble as well. So now there's 2 lurkers here, and that's all that's defending this base. In fact, we can dematrix some Marines here. We're going to go for the irradiate on the lurker. I don't know. Okay, the vessel does make it out. There we go. Yeah, get some dematrix. I would just dematrix as many units as possible and just A-click in. And if this base falls, Mutaller's looking really dire. Oh, gotta be careful not to bleed too many of the vessels, though. Okay, we lose 2 vessels. This army's not attacking altogether, so this lurker's actually getting pretty decent damage, but that is going to finally fall. We are going to clean this base out. Do we have any defilers back home? No. We are getting more vessels, so we're only down to 4 vessels. From 10 to 4 vessels, that's pretty good. But losing this base is pretty big. At least we've got this gas down here. As long as we can hold our natural, maybe we can delay for a little bit longer and make a comeback. Terran still hasn't secured this base location. We're still essentially on 2 gas. We're on like 2 3/4 of a gas. A little bit of a counterattack attempt here. Ooh, these Firebats are going to fall pretty quickly, but these two are in a pretty good position. Okay, we are going to make the command center on location. I almost feel like he should have loaded this a while ago, but that's okay. The fact that we're down to 4 vessels, though, is pretty big, because we don't have... we're only just now getting vessel production back underway. And that's going to force a cancel on this. Yeah, he really needed to make the bunkers at the very least. Terran might mine out. Terran really needs to get his army back and secure this location. Now that he's killed this base, I think it's time to secure this base. Zerg's mined out here, so Zerg has basically no mineral income. He's got to transfer these drones down here if he can, but that's, you know, the entire map he has to traverse to get mineral income again. Yeah, we scam this. This base is about to get killed off. There's something that he can do to hold this. Leaving a small contingent of Firebats and Marines. Yeah, this is looking really bad for Mutaller. I think he just waited too long to get those gases back up. Gonna fly forward and try and get into the vessel. He might be able to get it. Ooh, we pull back the vessels just in time. We are starting some lurkers up here, but these lurkers will die before the eggs even finish. Gotta be careful not to lose any vessels here. They're really important. Ooh. Gonna lose 1. Only gonna lose 1. Ooh, 2. Right, we're down to 4 vessels again. But 4 vessels in this base is gonna fall. These lurkers will finish, but if Mutallar's on, or if Launch is on top of it, they'll be able to focus them down before they can bury. Yeah, 1 goes down almost instantly. This one's not even gonna get burrowed. This might be GG with Mutallar losing this base. You have a bit of a counterattack, but it's a mostly Firebat army going on over here. There's just no mineral income anymore, and Launch went to go expand down here, so now he knows about this base location as well. Yeah, Mutallar has, like, literally no income anymore. Granted, to be fair, so does the Terran. The Terran is basically out of income as well. If we had a couple of Wrigley boys out, and these vessels were all cleared out, it's possible that the Zerg could clean this all up, but... there are no medics with this army. So this first attack on this base is going to get cleaned up. The problem is there's still so much bio coming across the map. Like, this much bio can kill like 100 supply of Zerg without Defiler support. Yeah, Terran's mined out, but Terran just has too much of an army, and Zerg doesn't have any income anymore. He's basically got 8 Zerglings to kill all of this. Oh, and 1 Lurker. But that 1 Lurker's going to die, like, instantly. It doesn't have any upgrades either, so it's not even killing really quickly. This might be the GG. Mutaller put on a desperate fight. Really valiant effort, but Launch is just going to have just slightly too much army in the end. GG, well played. Launch is going to take it. Mutaller mines so much more Terran OP. Alright, that should take us to our last game of the night. Let me go ahead and pull that up. It's going to be the game that everyone's been waiting for. Mutaller vs. KilahAce. Oops. The Zerg Lords. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and hop into this game. In the top left, we have our red Zerg. It is Mutaller. And in the bottom right, we have our blue Zerg. It is KilahAce. Get some good old ZVZ action. 9 pools kind of dropped out of the meta, so I'm expecting to see some altered variances of builds. We're seeing a lot of 12 hatches, a lot of 12 pulls. We're seeing a lot of overgas. We'll see what both these players want to bring to the matchup here. Frothy. Alright, we'll see if either one of them are going to go for the 9 pull. Like I said, it's kind of fallen out of meta at the moment, but doesn't mean it's bad. The meta's just kind of shifted into countering the 9 pull, and now it's shifted into countering the 9 pull counters. Alright, we are seeing a 9 pull out of Mutaller, but we are seeing the Overlord out of KilahAce. Conventional wisdom says that the KilahAce goes for the 12 pull, that he has a small economic lead. If he goes for the 12 hatch, it comes down to how much damage Mutaller can do. No, we are seeing the overpull versus 9 pull. As a general rule, overpull is just bad. I would not suggest ever going overpull in ZVZ, but in this situation, you are going to get probably another drone, an extra drone out. But your tech's going to be a lot more delayed than the 9 pull for almost nothing. I'm not a fan of overpull. I'm just not. Alright, gas is coming up here from Mutaller. KilahAce is going to take his gas. KilahAce is not. So it looks like KilahAce is going to play more of a expand game, most likely. Looks like he'll take his natural. And he'll probably rely on spore colonies to keep himself alive from the fast tech of Mutaller. First 6 Zerglings are on the way for Mutaller. First 6 Zerglings will be on the way from KilahAce. A little bit delayed, but they should all pop before Mutallers get across the map. Now the big thing is Mutaller needs to keep his, KilahAce needs to keep this hatch really alive until they're on the way for Mutaller. First hit goes to KilahAce. Alright, yeah, I think Mutaller waits for speed to finish up here. We're not too far away. And once speed finishes up, speedlings actually beat slowlings. You can just click and you'll win. Unless you're awesome like me, I have beaten 6 speedlings with 4 slow Zerglings before. Because I'm amazing. Okay, the slow Zerglings actually got better surface area, so the slow Zerglings are going to win that fight. Mutaller kind of went in from the side here, which forced his Zerglings to get clumped on each other, which gave KilahAce the ability to actually get a better surface around. But the speedlings are faster Zerglings. He's going to be able to try and run up into this main. Ooh, the reinforcing Zerglings and maybe just enough to clean this out. Nope, 3 Zerglings are still going to get in. See if we can get any drone damage here. Stream dropped for a second. Sorry, 1 second. Let me go ahead and pause the replay here. All right, am I back up? Can you guys hear me and see me and all that kind of stuff? I am back up? Okay. All right, I'm going to back up just because I don't know what we missed, so we'll go back just a little bit. I'm sorry if we repeat anything, but if the stream dropped for a second, I want to make sure that everything gets seen. All right, we had this attack from Mutaller. This is kind of what I was mainly worried about. So Mutaller, well, we'll see it in just a second. Waiting for the speed to finish. Speed does finish. He comes in here, but he does hug this left side of the wall, which is going to allow KilahAce to actually get better surface area on Mutaller's lings. Mutaller is going to win the trade in that instance, even though speedlings usually should beat them. And here we are. Mutaller's going to try and run past and go for the main base. We are seeing the 3-hatch build. This has been really popular lately. I haven't really had much of an issue beating it personally yet, but it is definitely a scary build. These lings are going to get into the base here. We'll see if they can pick off any drones. And this is pretty much where we had just left off at this point. This drone going to get away with 11 HP. Speedlings versus slowlings. These Zerglings can run around pretty much all day. We are making more lings back at home for Mutaller. Mutaller does have to be careful. We don't have a sunken here, which is a little bit worrying. More Zerglings coming in, trying to get in here and do some damage. There's just slow lings, but there's just enough lings here that Mutaller can't really take and engage. He needs to pick off these Zerglings when they're like in the small groups like this. Yeah. Pulls back the injured lings, that's good. He's also got to be careful that he doesn't let Zerglings of his opponent go across the map and kind of counter him. Spire is on the way. He's just basically trying to buy time for the Spire now and use his speed advantage to get good trades against his opponent's Zerglings and maybe pick off some drones if he can. My apologies again for the interruption. Comcast does not always have the best of internet. I probably just had a small service hiccup there because I'm not seeing dropped frames, so I think I just actually lost connection momentarily. Alright, so now comes the danger. A bunch of slow lings are moving across the map. We've only got 4 lings from Mutaller on the other side of the map. He lost all of his lings, so he's got to survive the ling flood, and we only have 1 creep colony. The Sunken isn't done yet. This might actually be game ending here. Mutaller does not have a super strong concave at the top of the ramp, so he's not going to trade as effectively as he could at the top of the ramp. In fact, KilahAce getting the better of that trade overall, losing 3 Zerglings for 5 Zerglings. Sunken colony is on the way. It is going to finish up. The question is, can he survive long enough for the mutas to pop? He can pop 3 mutas now. He needs to start those now, and he needs to kind of stabilize. And at this point, the conventional wisdom is: do you send 1 Mutalist across the map, start killing drones while the other 2 defend? Do you keep all of them here to defend long enough to get this cleaned up? Like, what do you want to do? The problem is that the Sunken is also not in a really strong position, so he's not going to be able to get a surround on it with his drones and do a mineral trick. Oh man, he's going to lose so many drones here. These mutas need to pop, and like, you can't clean up these Zerglings anymore. It's just GG. Mutaller's going to call GG. KilahAce is going to take it. GG from both of our players. Well played. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know what happened there. I think I just lost internet for a second. That's really frustrating. That's it for our games. Let me see if we have anyone else online that's worth rating, because that's all the games that I have for you tonight. Yes, Dream Elements now telling me I'm live again. Thanks, Dream Elements. It's so useful. What's going on here? Why can't I? What? No one playing that. All right, let me bring up this on my main computer. Bear with me, guys. We'll get a raid going for you to someone worth watching. Don't need that to autoplay or anything, so let's stop that now. All right, who is online? Ah, that'll work. We'll go ahead and read Jayun. Alright, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. We'll have to see you guys in the next cast, and I will see you guys there.